And we're live. Gentlemen, what's up, guys?
What's happening?
PJ, good to see you guys, man.
It's good to see you, Foster.
You guys this is what makes the week for me, is hanging out with you guys. Honestly. It's like hanging out with we did the show a couple days ago with all my high school buddies, and PJ, you opened it with us, and Foster, you ended it with us. And it was like I was hanging out with all my buddies from high school still. I love the questions that you had, PJ. That was
well, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
That was awesome.
I got to go back and watch it. I actually missed the whole thing, man. I haven't got time to go look at it, but I'm gonna.
That was
goofies.
That was actually off the top of my head, too.
King Foster. I gotta go back and watch it. I've been meaning to get to that, but
Well, I had to catch up on Greg Gabriel and all my other stuff, dude.
I get it, of course.
I put you last. I'm sorry, but I did.
You were on the show. Why would you go back and watch it? Who cares?
Because I wanted to see PJ stuff, man. I didn't get to see any of that.
Yeah, it was good.
I didn't get on it till late, man, because I was doing things. So
it was good. And what's even more interesting is that our guest next week is Lester Wiltfong Jr., who I found out after the invite, thanks to you, Foster, that he went to the same high school as us. And he knows Tom Noda very well. They played in the Shoot the Bull many times. They played softball. He was like 5 years older than us. He graduated in 88. We graduated in 93. But that was fun. So it's going to be interesting next week when we have Lester Wiltfong Jr. on the show, because Tom Noda is going to come back and give him a little surprise. Yeah. Don't worry, he's not going to watch this. He won't know.
No, he might. I sent Lester the link to the shows just so he knew what he was getting himself into.
Are you guys excited for training camp?
I am.
Indeed.
I am ready, man.
I'm excited.
I've been excited since before the draft. People are talking about the lull, and I'm going, man, after waiting so long, how could you have a lull? I have had no lull this summer during the off season, man, because there's always something little to talk about, and I'm still excited from the last two drafts, man. Everything he's done since he's gotten here with polls.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm ready.
I'm excited because I was a big fan. I've been a big fan of Cole Kmet from day one. Homegrown kid, literally, and now he's living the dream, guys. Could you imagine being drafted by the Bears, and now you're going into your second contract, 4 years, $50 million, $32 million guaranteed?
And I heard you found out 20 minutes before practice started.
Yeah. What kind of a mind screw is that, right? You gotta wait a second. I have to prepare to go out in front of all these people and talk about my $50 million.
Practice after getting $50 million? What?
Wait, can I take the day off now because of that?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Get out.
Well, there is that and more to come on the show, guys. Awesome to see you again. Kitty, let's kick this shit off.
Bears country. Where is it?
You down with BCP?
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 Some people just won't figure
I'm
it out.
picking it up from, dude. I got it from your brother. Come on.
Yeah. His brother's not always good either, I'm starting all
Once I have time to perfect the video that you showed me of your grandkids dancing, I'll make that. I'll get out of my seat to do it. How about that?
We don't have that much time in our lives left, Pete.
Oh, you might, because although I had reserved this, it's gone. I had reserved it for you last week, PJ. When you were coming on the show, we never got to pull it up while you were on. So it ended up becoming Foster's high school yearbook picture.
Yeah.
So
He showed
he
pictures.
skated out of that one, PJ.
Those pictures when everybody was in high school. He goes, oh, by the way, I got yours, Foster, too. And I'm going, what? And then he pulls this crap up, and I'm going, well, I did get rid of the head. Shave this off. Yeah, I guess it could be me.
You grew into the head.
Well, the bottle top. Remember, last week I had a brood head.
I preserved that burn for you too, PJ. And
Hey, I see the resemblance for Foster. I see the resemblance.
I'm golden.
He just grew into the head.
Golden oldie or something like that.
He changed his beard into like a long.
See? That's what I'm saying.
Like a what do they call that? The Mexican a churro.
Man.
Hey Dan, that's what we both might look like by the time the Bears make the playoffs if it happens.
Oh, that's true. Oh,
see, Squeegee says it's best. The head looks the same.
He did not. He said the herd looks the same.
the herd looks the same.
I thought he said the head.
He meant to say head. I'm sure he did.
I know.
Let's just take a look. Ready?
That's it. That's it.
Yep, that's it.
That's it.
You guys are lost, man. It's okay. Someday you'll be found.
Guys, thank you for joining us from chat tonight. We have Doug Van Dorn. We have Retro. We have Mark Kazak. We have Mr. Mayhem. Brian Gilmore joining us from chat. Yep. Squeegee, what's up, Squeegee?
Squeegee.
I love what where'd it go? What Retro just said. Mr. Shorty's sprinkler is broken. Dead grass. I didn't get that, but I do have a sprinkler system that's broken. He's has this. He's like foreshadowing.
He's a stalker. That's all. He's a stalker. Joe
Treviso. Thanks for joining us, Joe. James Ford, thanks for joining us, man. It is great to see you guys every week. We love you guys. You are what makes this show go around. I mean,
we truly appreciate you guys.
Absolutely appreciate you guys. So we're missing Walt. Walt is going to join us tonight, but we do have Chris Watts from across the pond who's going to be hanging out with us tonight. We're very excited because we have a game to go to here coming up very soon, just a couple of months away. So let's bring in Chris Watts and see what he has to say. I'm a poet and didn't know it.
Hey,
what's up, Chris Watts?
Mr. Watts in the house.
How you do, fellas? Super Bowl, baby. I'm off to Disneyland.
I take it we're not smoking the same thing, are we, Chris?
I couldn't possibly comment on that, Foster. I can't comment on that. I don't know. I haven't got a clue what you're on about, old man.
My bad. I'm smoking Bugler. I just figured you weren't smoking Bugler.
No, Foster's smoking the legal weed, and Chris is smoking the shit out of his backyard.
Yeah. But yeah, I just want to say as well is congratulations, Dan, on your first year of BCP. I know I text you about it, but I'd like to see it on air, and it's great to see you guys, man, as well. And it says that training camp started, and it feels like football's back a bit. And like you said, Dan, it ain't long now until I come over and see you. So yeah, it's great to be back on the show, fellas.
Absolutely good, great to have you.
Absolutely. It's great to have you, man. It's always a pleasure to have you on, my friend. So let's just ask you, how are you feeling about this training camp? Like, as we go into it, give us your perspective.
I think his training camp, from what I've gathered from watching the interviews over the last sort of couple of days, it sounds like the offense is definitely going to be ramped up in the scheme. It sounds to me like, from what I gather from Getsy, is like last year they could only really do a basic scheme and offense. So I think this year it's going to be a lot. I think in training camp it's going to be a lot more of a complicated offense they're going to be learning, and it's just going to be great to see how the new guys fit in as well, especially the linebackers who we've got. That's going to be really interesting. And to me, really, ain't football until they put the pads on, which is, I think, it's another week or 6 days away until they can put the pads on. So, I'm really excited, man. I just hope nobody gets injured. I mean, it's that time of year where you want everybody to compete, but you don't want people, getting injured. So let's just hope that nobody gets any injuries. And also as well, I can't believe that people are doing that thing where they're going, oh, Justin Field missed one pass. And you're thinking, it's like a second day of training camp. That's why you have training, is to make the mistakes now and not in the game. And it's so fucking annoying, man, that. I mean, it's just lazy journalism. That's what I put it down to. But, I just hope it's going to be a competitive camp, no injuries. And I just want to see the offense go up a ramp, i.e., making it a bit more of a scheme which has got a bit more depth to it, and letting Justin just be a pocket passer a bit more.
I have to take a moment here for Retro, who's just donated $2 to Super Chat. Thank you, Retro. He's saying, "Where is the caption option? What the fuck is he saying?" And I'm gonna defend you by saying I think that you're talking much more easy to understand than you did on the first show of BCP. Would you not agree? I think you've been putting your effort into it.
Well, I'm trying to sort of speak a bit posher, a bit more sort of clear and a bit slower, but I think it's because I've got his earbuds in. It seems to be picking up my voice a lot better rather than the actual plug in, your normal headphones what you get with your phone. So I think that's making a lot of difference. But I haven't really spoke to anybody for about 2 weeks. So it's just like, I feel like I've got like 100 million things to talk about. So I'll play, but like obviously it's all going to be bear related. But I mean, I thought I've got a little bit better over the last sort of year or so. But I have got a Yorkshire accent, but I ain't going to change it. So you can go fuck yourself, Retro.
Well, hold on though, Chris. You said you haven't talked to nobody in 2 weeks. What are you, in solitary or something, man? What's going on?
But more or less, mate. More or less, I'm just let out on an evening, and then they take me back in through the daytime. But no, it's just, I mean, Dan knows my situation. It's a bit complicated at the moment. But yeah, I mean, I suffer greatly from depression, so I can't work at the moment. Which you can't believe, just because I always come over being quite bubbly and up for it, which I am. But so I live on my own. So sometimes if people are busy, I can be on my own like a week really without having like a on the phone conversation, but having like a face to face. So I was so glad that Dan said come on the show because I was going a little bit fucking crazy. I think it was like what you call it, that film where that guy stuck on an island and all he's got is a ball. What, Castaway, whatever it was called. I will get a little bit like that.
Well, that's why I made the GoFundMe for you, to get your ass out of your shell, come across the pond, come hang out with us to watch a Bears game.
Yes.
The woman who's been hunting. The woman who's been hunting for you is in the audience tonight. It's my sister saying hi.
Hello.
I don't know if you remember,
hello,
but she was
Linda.
the one who asked a long time ago to hear your voice.
Oh,
that's
yes, she did. Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
that's your ticket to moving here, Chris.
Okay. I see it now.
Give me that green card.
Foster is hooking you up with his sister. Oh my God!
She even came on the show Tuesday night and mentioned you briefly.
Yeah, she did. Yeah. So, hi, Linda. Hope you're doing well.
Swifty's in the house. He says, "Yo, Bear Brothers, what's up, Swifty?"
Swifty in the hizzy.
Swifty.
He says, "Sorry, missed the anniversary show." It's okay, Swifty. We know that you are extremely busy.
I got a copy, Aldo.
We appreciate you being here, man.
Swifty Swifty beat my spouse. No, he didn't say that. Never mind.
Hey, Swifty, I'm watching all of your videos, man. I appreciate them, man. I'm enjoying them. Keep up the good work, Swifty.
Nothing but love from BCP, Swifty. Nothing but love.
Absolutely, man. I just watched like the last 4 shows today. I think I finally caught up on all his stuff, man.
Yeah, it's hard to keep up on, actually.
Fucking Foster. Thanks, Swifty.
I truly enjoy his videos. His videos will be awesome.
Yep.
I ain't lying. I like them. I really like them a lot.
I
He's
catch
killing it, man.
every one of them, man.
And he's a big fan of BCP, so we are happy to have you as one of our own, Swifty. And we want to get you back on the show again as soon as possible. So let us know about that. I know you took a little bit of a break, well needed, by the way.
Right.
Shit, I need one. You did it for a year straight. You're like, shit.
Foster, are you going to go to any training camp things?
I was trying to. I just don't see how I'm going to be able to do it.
Okay.
Well,
too
it's
much.
different now because you either get the tickets or you don't.
Right.
It's unlike years past.
I know people going there, and they said they're getting in. They just gotta wait around and find some way to do it. I don't know exacts on it, but I said a couple of people were like, "Dude, come on, because we'll get in." And I'm like, I just don't have the time, man. So
I think you have to. Apply for the tickets online. I think it's like a lottery system. That's how people get tickets. But I don't think it's going to cost you anything.
Well,
but yeah, I remember just hearing.
They're all gone.
Sorry, Foster, what was that?
They're
Oh,
gone.
they all gone. Sorry, right.
They're free, but they only give out a limited number, and you have to get in there ASAP.
Yeah. I see Bears film. Was that Paulski?
Bearsky.
Paulski's in the
there, man.
house.
He says he couldn't get tickets either.
I have no tickets, Bearsky. I have friends that they kind of pull stuff. So
Ooh,
I don't know what
Swifty
else.
says he might have an extra ticket for the 2 practices in Indy.
That's what I was trying to. We were talking about it before, Peach, because you brought it up a few times, and I'm going, man. If I could swing that, because when is that? That's in between one of the preseason games.
Yeah, that's the week. That's before week 2. August 19th is the game in Indy. I'm actually going to that game. That's the game I'm going to.
Okay.
Are you going to that game, Swifty? Are you going to that game, Swifty? I know he's going to be at training camp. I just wondered if he's going to be at that game.
Well, he said he might have 2 extra. He might have
For the training camp.
ticket for the 2
An extra ticket for training camp, yeah.
So I don't know about the games, but
You know what? I really hate the way they're doing it now with these tickets and things. I really enjoy just being able to walk there and we just walk up and just get in, and that was good times. That ticket stuff just blows me.
I still think Platteville used to be the greatest, man, because you could just go hang out there.
Except when I got a super speeder going there.
Yeah, well,
Running late.
You don't do that. Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are, Jordan Addison?
Swifty says he might go to the game now if you're going, PJ.
Well, I am going. I'm like I said, I'm going to the game with my grandsons. First game they'll ever be at, and I'm taking my son as well. So, yes,
that's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That sounds very expensive.
Very expensive, but it's a thing I can mark off my.
It'll be awesome.
Yeah, it's something I can mark off.
Yeah,
my
of course.
Because I've never taken my son to a professional game. We've been to like some college football games and high school, of course, but we've never been to a pro game together. So I'm going to take him, his sons, and then my daughter's sons as well. So yes. Oh,
awesome, mate! That'd be such a nice day, that mate. That'd be such a nice day. I remember I used to take my late dad to. We used to go to the cricket, and I used to take him to see Leeds United, which is our local soccer club, which is now owned by the 49ers, incidentally, which is quite strange.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, the 49ers took over. I think they completely take over. I think it was like a couple of months ago. But unfortunately, Leeds United have just got relegated from the Premiership. So they lose so much money when they get relegated, clubs do. But I used to love taking them in, especially like when I paid for the ticket as well, because my dad used to take me everywhere when I were a kid when I was playing sports. It was just a nice way of returning them favours what I did when I was younger. So you'll have a blast, mate. That'd be such a nice day.
Oh yeah, I agree. I love the way Indianapolis have their dome. You know, if you're in a hotel, you don't ever have to really come outside.
Yeah.
You can just walk around that city circle and man, get to everywhere you need to go. So I enjoy that venue, how they do it over there. And I see that Polsky said he's giving out some free T-shirts at the first preseason game tailgate.
Week 1 tailgate, right?
Oh,
Bearski
week 1. I'm sorry,
film.
week 1.
But dude, Polsky Bearski Film was he was a great guest on the show. He was a lot of fun. You guys got to check him out over there too. He's got some awesome videos. I love the soundtracks he makes for them too. He does a really good job.
Yeah, definitely. I just was watching some of his stuff too the other night. He put out like 2 or 3 videos in the last few days here. Highlight stuff. Great shit, man, too.
So, guys, what do you think about? Let's just go around the horn. You, PJ, Foster, Chris Watts, in that order. 1 to 10, level of excitement with the Kmet signing, the extension.
I say I'm about a 7 or 8.
Explain.
I'll explain. One, what makes me excited is Poles actually re-signed one of our own players. So that was the exciting part. The tight end position for me is, it's important, but I'm not really super excited about that. That's why I give it about a 7 or 8. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Kmet, and I'm glad he's on our team. But, I mean, he's not like one of my favorite players. So I'm about a 7 or 8.
All right. Well, he's out of here. So anyway, anything better than a 7 or an 8?
Man, I better go higher now, huh? I'm going to put her up pretty high. 8, 9.
Then they're better.
8, 9, because I think the tight end position is so important. And this is probably the best. I mean, just with Tanyan and Kmet, when was the last time we had 2 tight ends that could play when we had both types of tight ends, an X and a move at the same time, who were quality players? When was the last time we had? Did we ever have that? That's a question I'm asking, because
back in the 80s.
I want to say the early 2000 team, but I could never really put that we had both of those guys at the same time ever.
No.
And to me, Tanyan's, I love that signing. I love that signing, man. That made that whole tight end room. It just took it up 2 more steps just by bringing that guy in, because now we have a true move tight end. And Kmet could kind of play both. He's not going to be the greatest move tight end, but they could mess with that position now, which in the past we couldn't. You knew Kmet was going to block somebody, especially last year, because the line stunk. So we needed help block on the line. Hopefully this year the line comes together by week 3, 4, 5, and then these guys can do the things that they're best at doing, both of them, because they're not the same type of players. We know that. So I'm excited. I think moving forward, it's a step in the right direction. And PJ, you mentioned it too, because he's not only did he sign a player, re-sign one of our players.
Right.
Kmet wasn't even his draft choice, man.
That's what I'm saying.
So he's going on the fact that he feels this guy is quality. He's dedicated. He's buying into the system. He's productive. We know what he can do on the field, man. Look at the last 2 seasons. Look at last year. Imagine if he didn't have to block all the times he had to stay in and block, what his numbers could have been. If there was a complete line there, what would his numbers have been last year? Because he would have Fields probably would have been going to him more, because he really didn't have anything sure other than Kmet was probably his surest receiver last year.
2 things to this. I have to acknowledge the $10 super chat from Steve. Thank you, Steve. Supporting BCP. We appreciate you.
Absolutely, man. Help us keep things going here. Keep
the lights on
going
here.
and moving forward.
Appreciate you, Steve. Thank you.
But the other thing is, even like Mooney said himself that Kmet he's a big, like one of his favorite players on this team, his favorite teammates is Cole Kmet. And because of what he brings to the team and how they've been working together, and it's all in, like Cole Kmet gives you that, you know, it's just like any one of us. If we could just be Cole Kmet, we'd be doing the same damn thing that he's doing, giving it 110%. And my goodness, if you can wake up and find that you have a $50 million contract from that, playing for the Bears, how insane would that be? And Chris, talk about that. Like, if you played football, you grew up a Bears fan because of the Bears, imagine they give you a $50 million contract to continue playing for them. Like, talk about that.
It's like that would be like the ultimate dream, wouldn't it? It would be like when you're younger and you dream about scoring that winning touchdown. That's how I'd put it. Like it'd be like it's sort of that money is sort of beyond. That is like everybody in his family probably for like the rest of the family generations going down the line are going to be sorted out with money. But I think I personally would have given it about. I'm very much similar with PJ really, about 7 or 8. Because I think with Kmet is that baby. How can I not agree with you, PJ? You know what I mean? Looking all smooth and all that tonight. But no, I mean, I think good thing about Cole Kmet is that you've actually seen him progress every year. And like I know, like people were quite down on the guy for like his first couple of years, but I mean, I've heard loads of people say, well, tight end can take up about 3 or 4 years in the NFL to really sort of master that position because obviously you're blocking, but obviously you're a wide receiver as well. So I'm really happy about the signing, man. I mean, that catch he made last year against the Atlanta Falcons is probably worth half of that just in one go because that was such an amazing catch, man. The body control and everything was just amazing. So I'm happy for him. I bet the running backs aren't particularly happy, but because they're getting paid absolutely nothing these days, which absolutely boils my blood. Being a former running back, it really pisses me off, man. Like Barkley, what's he got? 11 million a year. You know what I mean? And he's he's an awesome player, but he's been injured quite a bit as well. And you just think, the running back now, it's so annoying me, man. It's so annoying because they're still involved in the game. It's not like offensive coordinators are completely stopped running the ball or using a running back for pass protection or coming out the backfield for the receiver. But maybe it might just tilt back again. The market might tilt back if offenses start running the ball because I think if you run a lot in the NFL, I think you could do really well. This, like the Bears proved last year that we were the top running team in the league. And I think a lot of that has to do as well that a lot of the players are not particularly great tacklers these days. So I think if you can get run them like Derrick Henry does, get them, run down the throats. So I think that still works these days. I think it's sort of a bit of snobbery what's come to running backs. But getting back to Cole Kmet, I'm very happy that he's with us and homegrown guy as well. It must be just like your head must just go, wow, this is everything I've dreamed about as a child, and all the work he's put in and all his family, and it must be like the best feeling in the world. You feel like as well that the club can see your worth as a player. And also, I think a lot of that has to do how he is in the locker room, from what I gathered from watching a few interviews today. So hats off to the guy, man. And I just hope he keeps improving like he is. And I think, like Foster said, I think the signing we got as well, the guy from Green Bay as well, I think he'll be a bit more receiver type. But I think that could open it out a bit more for Kmet as well.
Let me just add something real quick. I think adding or extending Cole Kmet is like buying a brand new minivan. It's something that's needed, but you're not super excited about it because you're looking at that Corvette, but you got that minivan because you got 6 kids to carry around. That's how I kind of look at
it. Like, with this money, he can buy the whole block. He can pay off his parents' house, buy the house next door, right? Put his whole family on the block.
Right. I mean, like I said, I like it. I just, I ain't super excited about it. But what you feel about it, Jordan?
I love it, man. Like He's said it himself that when he got drafted, he wasn't the best blocking tight end, and he's developed into a better blocking tight end just because of the two schemes he was in. They relied on that more, and they need him to do that. And he's taken to the task.
Okay, he's just being a homer right now, so he's out of here. He just went too far with this. See, I was testing him. He just showed me.
Hold on a second. Aren't you the ultimate homer?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, I'm gonna say.
What, you're giving me shit for this? Hold on a second. That means you are out of here. Get out of here.
Man, it's vicious on this show, and it's vicious. Man, you got to be careful what you say. I'm shitting myself now. I keep thinking PJ's just going to get rid of me. Fucking, you know what I mean? It's just like vicious. Be gentle, PJ, for fuck's sake, man.
PJ's handle on the screen said what did it say? Like the ultimate homer, or it always was something about homer. And you've since changed it, but it was all about you being the ultimate homer, and now you cut me for being a homer.
Well, here's the thing, though. I think it was Polsky that said it best. So think about it. This was the first Bears player since Tariq Cohen that is a Bears drafted player that has got extended. That's pretty sad. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm glad. That's what I'm saying. I'm glad we did it. I'm glad he is that guy, but it's like pretty sad that we went that long without extending our own players.
And it's finally happened with Kmet.
Yes, I agree. That's
So
why it's a 7 or 8.
But do you have reservations now because of that?
No, I'm like I said, I want him. I want him as our tight end.
Wait, how bad do you want him?
I don't want him that bad. Just simmer down. Simmer down now. Simmer down.
No, like scale of 1 to 10. What's going on here?
This plane flies straight. That's all I got to say. This plane flies straight. So that's, I mean, but
it doesn't fly straight this way, right? It's just straight this way. There's 2 different directions of straight.
Is that a disease or something? When it doesn't fly straight, it's some type of disease. I know it is.
So, I mean, being a tight end, because that's one of the, like I said, it's like one of those like a defensive end or wide receiver, quarterback. Those things you really get excited about. It's a position that's it's okay. I mean, it's purposeful, but it's not something that really gets your blood boiling. That's
Steve S says Kmet's current production is he is overpaid. Bears are betting on his upside. I like it. Does that kind of go along to your thoughts, PJ?
Well, I mean, I think I seen where they said he's the number 9 paid tight end right now. So I'm wondering how many of us think he's the number 9 talent-wise tight end in his performance that he has done. So is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Swifty says
this one's true though, Dan.
Swifty says, I want Kmet a lot, but not as much as Mr. Shorty wants Darnell Washington's nuts.
I said it was true.
Yeah, that's right. You was a Darnell Washington guy.
Oh,
that's right.
Oh man, dude. 6 months of wanting to get in Darnell Washington's pants or whatever he could take.
He became a Steeler. That means I was right.
Did he put in the 3rd round or something like that?
I don't know. PJ, he tried to sign him as a free agent when you couldn't sign him. He tried to draft him after he was already drafted, and then he tried to sign him as a UDFA when he was already drafted. So the guy was relentless. We know he wants nuts. Darnell Washington, if you remember that.
He wanted Darnell Washington like I wanted Chase Young, huh?
Dan going off the one like Darnell Washington. I think we were making fun of him, of course.
Oh yeah, yeah. We're gonna have to monitor that career for, on the show, because if the Steelers drafted him, that usually means something. Like they drafted Joey Porter Jr. was like, oh, I knew that was a Steelers pick. I knew it from before he even got drafted. That he looks like a Steeler to me.
Yeah, because his father played there, right?
That's been going on for 50 years, man.
Yes.
But there's just certain teams you can tell, like, a Raven. Like, okay, the Ravens aren't going to draft that guy. Yep, they did. Oh, the Steelers are going to draft that guy. Whoop, they did.
That when they took Ray Lewis, man. Yeah, that's a Raven dude.
Yeah, I would say that until I didn't think Zay Flowers was a Raven. I didn't think he fit that mold. Flowers.
You got to give them a break. They were reaching for Lamar, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can't get them all, Peach.
Yeah, you can't get them all.
I mean, just going with your narrative. I mean, I was just trying to figure that one out. I was like, I didn't see that one.
You can't get them all, and the Bears couldn't get any for a long time.
That's what he said.
Yeah. That's what I said.
That's what I said.
That's what we all say.
Especially if you get married once or twice.
Never happened, mate.
Doesn't matter. You're still floating in the same boat.
Swifty says that Kmet will be the 12th to 15th highest paid player in 2 years, and he will be 26.
That'd be a good value.
Wow.
I mean,
So is that when we lose him?
I'm mad about it because he's on a 4-year contract. We front loaded the contract to where in a couple of years his salary cap is not going to be that much. So I mean, I'm not hating it. I'm not even disliking it. It's just my meter is like about 7 or 8. I mean, it's okay. I mean, it's above average for me, so I'm happy with it.
Yeah,
I'm just not excited.
2-3 years from now, he's not going to count hardly against that salary crap when it's raised that high.
Exactly.
Again, Dan, and we talked about this, setting up for that contract for Fields, because it's going to be there. If he's the man, he's going to have to pay him, and we all know it.
Yeah.
But he's smart enough to see this all in advance. That's even some of the guys he drafted. I won't say we got clones, but we've got guys ready to step into the guys that are going to get contract shoes if he's done his job properly, and I believe he has. Talking about polls.
I believe he has too.
There's a lot of talk in the chat today about who's the kid wide receiver? Looks great, but he dropped a couple balls today.
Tyler
Scott. He's got great separation.
Yes.
It's looking already, and we're so early in, like, and that could just be jitters where he's dropping the ball because he's a little nervous. This is his first time playing with these guys like this. So
it's not even second. It's not even second day of practice as well.
Yeah.
Sorry, Foster.
That's true.
I mean, it's not even second day of. It's the second day of practice. It's ridiculous.
Right.
This is we've all played sport, and this is why you have practice, so you don't make mistakes at game time. And it's sort of like it's because people have to make stories out of nothing. I think it's still at this time of year, you know what I mean? It's still, the end of the off season, and I think it's just trying to get, people try to justify the paychecks with some of the articles what you read over the last sort of month or so. But I've completely forgot what I was on about now.
Man, my area, Chris.
Fucking hell, Foster, I'm worried now if I'm getting like you. I'm only joking, mate. You know I love you.
I love it, dude. I love
not it. As much. I love you, but not as much as PJ.
Everybody loves PJ more, man. He's too nice of a guy. We got to.
That's why PJ is always on the top right, looking down at you, Foster.
Yep. Swifty put it in order of where you're going when you die. That's why I'm always on the bottom.
We can just roll you to the right
or down.
But did you guys hear the report in training camp that they said, how the offense seems to be winning more plays than the defense, which is something I have never heard in all my times of being a Bears fan. It seemed like early on in camp, it's always the defense that's doing the most of the winning. This time they said, like, for day one, the offense won most of the time. It's more even today is what I've heard. So that's very encouraging and very encouraging.
Absolutely, because you're correct. I mean, the defense always has the advantage early in anything, OTAs, the preseason, the mini camps.
Right.
They know their game plan, and if they've worked on it a little bit, it's easier to get in sync on defense, man, especially if you know exactly what your job is. Offense usually takes a little more. I got a feeling these guys have been more in cahoots than we know, talking on the offensive line, because it doesn't seem right. They even brought it up on Channel 7 here in Chicago about the offensive line this early. I mean, day 2 or whatever it is, looking kind of like they're in sync already. That doesn't even sound right.
Right.
Yeah.
Again, it's day 2.
Yeah.
What did you guys hear?
And he got to sorry, BJ.
No, go ahead, Chris.
No, I'm just going to say I mean, you got to remember that they're not in pads yet as well.
Right.
So, like, basically, it's basically just like people learning a dance routine with the offensive line until they get the pads on and start hitting, because it's just all foot placement and, you know, where you put your hands for the blocks. I think really, until you get the pads on, man, it's not football for me. It's just running around in pajamas, you know, until you get the sweat going and the hitting going and the adrenaline's fucking coming up and people are barking a little bit. That's football, man. So that's why I can't wait to see what they're going to say the next couple of weeks of training camp.
Yes,
Now, I will say this. I want to get to Steve's super chat, but before we address that, let me say this real quick about the offensive line. Wright, I hear, lost a lot of weight, came in real good shape. So I'm real curious to see how he looks. Because I heard Poles talking about him, I think yesterday in an interview with is it Sylvie and Waddle? Is that?
Yeah, I heard that. I heard that too.
Yeah.
He was talking real positive about that. So I'm real curious to see Wright. But let's get to that super chat there, Shorty.
We've got a $5 super chat from Steve again. Do you guys believe Fields is our franchise QB?
Absolutely.
1,000%.
Absolutely.
Oh, Chris Watts is making a face down there.
I'm just... I want to say yes, but
all right,
this is like,
fuck off, Chris.
You know what happened. You know what's going to happen, Chris. You know you was going. You know you were out of there, buddy.
I think he was doing that on purpose just to avoid the whole thing, man. He knew would get thrown
Like,
out.
I hope he pulls
I was just trying to think which is the best side to come in on. I'm not too sure anymore. I don't know, which side of the argument shall I attack? You know, I'm just going to get wiped off the screen again. I want to say it's just his intermediate passing. You know, like they say, the quarterback throws, the ones that are like 15 to 20 yards. I mean, if he can get that sorted out, then yeah, I like to think that he's our franchise quarterback. And I saw him being interviewed just on one of the press conferences he had, and he just comes over a lot more sort of confident now, and he seems to have like a good sort of vibe with DJ Moore. He was sat next to him, and you know, you could tell like they get on off field as well. You know, how they were sort of bouncing off each other. So yeah, I'm hoping so, man. I mean, my favourite Bears player. Well, one of my favourite Bears players is Jim McMahon, and I think he's been the best quarterback we've ever had in Bears history.
Well, you're not wrong.
He won 28 games in a row.
It's hard to argue against it. I mean, to be honest with you, it's hard to argue
against
it.
I only can throw my old guy in there from the 40s because he won 4 championships.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But I
also as well, Jim.
Go ahead, Chris.
Sorry, Foster.
No.
I was just going to say also as well, he's cool as fuck as well. So that's one of the reasons I like to. One of the main reasons why I got drawn to the Bears were him and Walter Payton, and he was just so cool, Jim McMahon. He still is. But yeah, I mean, I think he was our last proper franchise quarterback. I know he got injured a lot or whatever, but I'm watching a few of the old Bears games from like the mid-80s, and some of the passes Jim McMahon made, I've not seen Justin Field able to make them sort of passes, especially like over-the-shoulder passes, you know, ones where you really got to zip it in, like, you know, a 15-yard pass. So I hope Fields is it's about time the Bears have a franchise quarterback in it, boys. It's. I mean, even if you agree with me with Jim McMahon, that's like in the 80s. So you're talking 30, 40 years ago. So we're due for a break when it comes to the quarterback.
I think that the fact that Justin Fields is 86 in the top 100 voted by the players this year says enough.
There's a lot.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Since they started that, have we ever had a quarterback in the top 100?
No.
I didn't think
I would
so.
have
Who
thought
would it
so.
be?
No.
Since
Yeah, I
they
mean,
started,
even,
there's no
even
one that
when
it could
Mitch-
be.
When Mitch went to the Pro Bowl, he still was never voted in that top 100.
And there's a reason for that.
I agree. I agree. I mean,
I still want to go back because I never answered Scott real quick, guys.
go ahead.
I'm definitely all in for Fields. I believe we're going to sign him to a long term. Go back and look at his stuff from Ohio State, dude. The guy can put the ball in the places it needs to be put. It's just hard to do when you got 1.5 seconds or the center in your face, or a guy's falling down in front of you and you got to jump over one of the defensive linemen or defensive end before you can even see where you're going to throw the ball.
Right.
So this year, if the line's intact, he's going to show us that he's the guy to sign, and that's what I truly believe. Now, I shouldn't believe everything I think, but I believe that's what's going to happen, man. And I think Poles does too because of the way he's setting things up. But he's also like everything else, and I love this. Give me information and options, and I'm going to make sure I cover all the bases, and he's covering all the bases. God forbid, what if something happens and Fields isn't here? I mean, just say it. He's got a
Here's
backup
another
man.
thing to take into account. When was the last time you saw a training camp open, maybe other than last year, but prior to that, where all the questions were directed at the general manager?
Yeah.
Like Ryan Poles asked 3/4 of the questions. In fact, it got like 3/4 of the way through the interview yesterday when they were opening up training camp with yesterday's interview. And finally it came to Ryan being asked the question. He like answered it and he goes, "Oh, let's what do you think, coach?" And it was like, my first question comes from Ryan today. That's great. Everybody was asking Ryan Poles the questions the whole freaking time. And finally Flus gets the question. He's like, "Oh, it's like, is this my team or his?" So the fact that that's even happening is very unique because Ryan, all the previous general managers would just scapegoat out of there. They'd get out of there.
I mean, but I think, part of it's the fact that, Poles has done a good job of getting a better line, and he has definitely brought in more weapons. All these wide receivers we have with 4.3 speed and better, it's like, I think, to piggyback on what Foster's saying, now you got the protection and you got the receivers who can get the separation. So yes, I think we will see a big jump to answer any concerns that Chris has. I think his passing is fine. He now has the weapons. The guys can get the separation and the protection.
Sorry, mate.
Go ahead.
I mean, one of the things I really liked, what I picked up on that interview you were talking about before, Dan, it's just he's a man that's sticking to his plan. And you feel like this plan is not just over 1 or 2 seasons. You feel like he's got a goal, and it feels like it's a goal to have continual success at a decent level. And I think that's the main difference, what I gather from him and our previous GM, where he just seems to react to a situation rather than make the situation what he wants it to be. I.e. signing like, what was that quarterback we signed? Glenn, what do we call it now?
Mike Glennon?
Mike Glennon. As soon as he signed him, I lost all respect for that GM because
right.
I just don't know how Mike Glennon's managed to stay in the league that long because he's absolutely terrible. He must be really good at interviews, or he must like pay him some money on the tail, because I just can't understand how that guy's been in the league that long. And as soon as our GM picked him, I just thought, and on the amount of money they paid him as well, I was like, that's it, mate. You need to go straight away. It was just such a terrible position. But yeah, I feel like with Poles, it feels like he's got a plan, and it feels like it's a plan for longevity rather than just winning that. Like, I mean, you see what's happened to the Los Angeles Rams. They won the Super Bowl and they're massively dropped off. And I think that's what Poles is trying to avoid. He wants that, consistent success year in, year out, and build a dynasty, if we dare use them sort of words.
We've got another super chat from Retro saying, currently Fields isn't worth the salary he will demand.
But you can't say that.
I mean, you could say that because when Kirk Cousins reset the market after Jimmy Garoppolo did, or vice versa, and then all of a sudden, because they made the most money out of any quarterback in the league, Aaron Rodgers had to have his contract upped. That set the standard for like these mediocre quarterbacks making all this ridiculous money that then set the standard for the best quarterback making all the money. So now no matter how you look at it, Fields is going to be overpaid comparatively speaking to prior to that, Kirk Cousins signing or that Jimmy Garoppolo signing, if you will.
Well, let me ask you guys this. Do you guys think that Herbert is worth being the highest paid quarterback right now?
Herbert?
Yeah.
I think basically they paid him just to get before the market kept getting worse and worse and worse. How much they'd have to pay a QB? So they probably thought, well, despite the bullet, pay the kid now because we know if he keeps continuing at this level of play, it's probably going to cost us double. So just take the gamble now. I think Herbert's a hell of a player, absolute hell of a quarterback. And I remember he got hit last year, and I think he fractured some ribs, and he carried on playing. And hats off to the kid. So yeah.
No, I just love the kid. Hats off to him. But I think the point of that question was, the standard was set, the bar was set differently years ago by mediocre quarterbacks when it used to be, the Aaron Rodgers, the Tom Brady's of the world, the Patrick Mahomes. So for you to ask me if the San Diego or the LA Chargers quarterback being the highest paid is worth it, not compared to Mahomes. No, he hasn't.
Well, see the problem. See, I'm asking that question because the problem I have is at the rate it's going, whatever quarterback is up next, he's going to be the highest paid, and that's
right.
To me is going to be the bad precedent because me personally, now this is just me speaking, I don't believe any one player should be paid more than 10% of the salary cap because you have 53 players to try to pay, and now you're shoving all this money to one guy. And besides Mahomes and Brady, in the last, 15 years, no quarterback outside of a rookie contract has won the Super Bowl because you can't afford to pay nobody because you're too busy paying that quarterback. And that's why I'm saying that to me is, I think, going to ruin the game, these quarterbacks. Because remember, before they reset it, 20 years ago, when the rookie quarterbacks or the first overall picks was being the highest paid player before they even played it down. Now they've changed it to where, now the quarterbacks are getting the highest paid contracts after their rookie contracts. And to me, it's going to hurt the game because teams ain't going to be able to field good enough players around them.
Every one of them gets paid too damn much, and the ones who pay for it are the fans. That's my opinion.
Right.
But it's this insane thing where it's one-upmanship, man. Look at Swifty just said something about $35 million. Great, because Justin's going to get about 55. I mean, the $35 million deal there with Herbert, or what's his name we were just talking about.
Yeah.
But there was something else too that I wanted to address before I go further with that, and this was because Mo Bierman, he's got this up in the chat, and it says Trevor should not be behind Fields, period. Well, Trevor Simeon's gone, dude. PJ Walker is backup quarterback for the Bears now.
No, he's talking about Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence.
Oh, Trevor should be – I'm sorry, Mo. Trevor should be behind him. I said that when they got drafted, but that's my opinion. Doesn't mean I'm right. That's because he's, 90 in the ranking and Fields was 86?
Yeah, I think the thing that makes Fields higher for me than Trevor is the fact that Fields give you that running ability.
Yep, Trevor.
I mean, because Fields can throw like Trevor can throw.
Yep.
But Trevor cannot run like Fields can run.
Absolutely, 100% agree, Peach. That's it. That is the reason.
And that's the reason why
he's more dynamic to the game as a quarterback than Trevor ever will.
That's the reason why he ended up ultimately becoming the better quarterback in high school and in college, Justin Fields, because he had that extra element to it. He has the it factor to it that I think that it could very well be a Jaguars Bears Super Bowl in the future, guys.
Yeah, no, Trevor's good. I'm not going to take anything from Trevor.
If it comes down to that, I would put all my money on Justin Fields, not even being a Bears fan.
Yeah, I mean, I just think, Fields give you more than what Trevor gives you. I mean, but Trevor's a good quarterback. I'm not taking anything from him there.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think as well what Trevor had to deal with as well in Jacksonville with that coach last year, that college coach, I can never remember his name. Who, I heard one story about they played away, and he didn't even get on the plane back with the team, and then ended up at a bar what he owned somewhere in Ohio or whatever, and he was, photographed grinding against a young girl, and if you're like, which. Hats off to the guy, you know what I mean? Because I won't mind him, can get away doing that at his age. Not too bad, you know what I mean? But even so, you're a quarterback in your first year, and you've got all that drama around you, and you're playing for a franchise which traditionally struggles anyway. His head must have been all over the place, and you can just tell when they brought in the Eagles coach last year how much his game improved. They actually had a proper coach who coached a team who's been there, won a Super Bowl, and that's all it takes is just find out a little cog what fits right. And I think he's a hell of a player, man. I think he'll be right up there for the next 3 or 4 years, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see in about 10 or 12 weeks, in my eyes.
It's
going to be here before you know it. We'll all be talking about crap we're talking about right now is going to be so different, and it's 8-10 weeks from now.
Oh, yeah.
We should probably
once you see it, people are going to have to believe it when they see it.
We should probably pause for a commercial break.
What the hell's that?
Whoa.
Balls. I'm Gilroy Cunnings, and I run Brooklyn Ball Barbers, New York.
Can you hear that?
Manscaping.
Unfortunately, yes.
Weddings, anniversaries, doctor visits.
Why is that not coming through my
services to any occasion? The male genitalia is not the loveliest of God's creations.
This is from Retro.
Shouldn't be gift wrapped. Our most
That
popular
figures.
styles include lightning bolt, flat tops, bullseyes, the brodazzle, crosshatch, arch rose, landing strips, and the comb over. A lot of guys who come through these doors just road the best. Their mug. We do handlebars, truckers, and shackles. There's no greater source of insecurity for a man than the size, shape, and haircut of his penis. And I like to think that the work I do is therapeutic, even spiritual in nature. Our work covers all areas from the belly button to the chode, and we make sure each customer is terrible. They leave our shop. And not to mention your dick pic.
Absolutely terrible.
Some customers come in just for the shampoo and massage. We get lots of big names coming in here. Jay-Z, Dwayne Johnson, Ron Howard.
What do you do during the day, dude?
Donation to Cox of Love, a local charity bringing Merkins to those in need. With a straight razor, there is no room for error. I've actually had stability training and even had to give up coffee so that I'm steady as possible.
Rico has too much time on his hands, I'm telling you.
So hair bears on, and this is the first time he's been on a while, and he sees this shit when he turns on the fucking show. What the hell, man? Poor guy.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Retro sent that to me. I was like, I had to play that. That was hilarious. It was playing through the mic from my computer, though, so hopefully you could hear it well enough.
Oh my god. It had words on it.
I just get thinking though, Dan. Because until you told us that it was Retro's video, I kept thinking I'm gonna travel 5,000 miles to meet this motherfucker and watch his videos about men getting the ball shaven, and I was questioning my sanity and life choices all the way through that advert with you, Dan. Until you said it was Retro's video.
Chris, you're going to be hitting 50 this September. It's about time that you invest in this.
Greetings. I'm Dr. Dick Richards. Have you ever thought you were done going pee-pee, only moments later to find a drip or 2 or 3 in your underwear? Have you ever felt ashamed? Well, feel ashamed no more. Even the iconic legendary musician Elvis Presley has had his own share of drippy dick. For all the males in the day, then there go thou arts out there. Anyone with a dick. I've invented a revolutionary patented design called Drippy Dicks. Our state-of-the-art patented design can absorb up to 2.5 cups of pee-pee. Place adhesive side down in your banana hammock. Watch Drippy Dicks go to work. The banana hammock is still dry. Just look at that absorption. Drippy Dicks. Made by a dick, for a dick. Drippy Dicks.
Golly.
I forgot to play that for my high school boys last week. They would have laughed their fucking asses off.
Hey, Dan, that was the first time I actually realised that's you in the video.
Get the fuck out of here.
Honestly. Because of the hair. Because of how you done your hair in the video, I just didn't even like think it was you, and then obviously, watching it keenly, and it's you.
Me, look.
Greetings. I'm Dr. Dick Richards. Have you ever thought you were done going pee-pee?
I'm on a release. I'm on a release of CD down with your glasses on and your Bears cap. So for ages, hey, what's going on with Foster, man? Foster, you try to look like me.
Yeah, there's his drippy dick.
That's a slight
My drippy
afro mullet.
Foster looking like he's a member of KISS.
And he don't need a makeup as well.
Where do you think they got the idea from, PJ?
I'm just gonna say, Foster.
Golly.
You don't even need the makeup, mate.
Nope. I just go home like this, and I'll be doing what I do, mate.
Oh yeah.
Wait a minute.
Apples and pears, mate. Apples and pears.
Chris, man.
Swifty says I got a diaper on my face. What?
Eh?
Man, get the diaper off PJ's face. That's what it says.
Hair Bear, Ravy, what's up, guys? It's good to see you guys again. That's fucking creepy.
What's up, Robbie? Is it Ravy or Robbie?
I feel Foster. I feel like I'm looking at myself. I keep looking at you, and I keep thinking that's me in fucking 10, 15 years time, isn't it?
Except this will be black, right?
Well, no, I'm going grey as it is anyway, so it'll probably be grey. Yeah, I'm grey, mate.
That was just I just spared you guys with the 59-second video. There's actually one. The full video is 1 minute and 52 seconds. You want to see that?
No,
not really. No,
I haven't.
I mean, it was good, Dan. It was good, Dan. But you are overselling it now. You know what I mean? It was good, but you are overselling it.
Thanks, Chris, because he does that shit all the time, man.
Every one of you. No.
Shorty,
no.
It's Robbie, not Ravy. It's Robbie.
Robbie. What's up, Robbie?
Robbie.
But like Brian Gilmore says, Chia.
That's me.
That's
Chia
what
Foster.
Foster looking like.
Chia Foster. Buy one for Christmas, guys.
What's up, Hair Bear? It's good to see you in chat too again. I'm trying to get you on the show again, so let us know, man. We'd love to have you on again.
Cool.
Oh boy. So anyway, that was a brief moment for some laughs.
Yeah, that was a moment talking a lot about dicks.
Yeah,
I figured
A little bit too much there.
you're hitting your
Doesn't this come up all the time with Dan, though? Think about it.
you guys all know about Drippy Dicks, guys. You know, Chris is joining you in the 50s club soon, so I just thought he should know about that.
What I know about Drippy Dicks, bro?
Come on.
The only thing I know,
He's in denial
over
over here.
last week, and he's got a bad case with that, I hear.
Dan,
Otherwise, I know nothing.
Dan, you know. Sorry, Foster.
No, go.
Dan, you know, like I'm such a lazy man. I'm quite up for having a pair of them, so it means I don't even have to get up to have a piss.
Yes.
I can just sit here and just piss myself, and it won't matter. The ground, I'll have to get up.
No, actually, for that you need a stadium buddy. This is just for the extra drips after you're done pissing.
Oh, right.
Yeah, ever have a drip or 2 or 3 in your underpants? Maybe saturating through to your outerwear?
Bro, I ain't there yet. I ain't there yet. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. I thank God, but I'm not there yet. No, sir.
I'll let you know live in air when it happens to me, buddy.
Please don't. Please don't.
I'm pissing myself right now, guys.
I see
Ulysses' face.
Yeah.
Chris.
It did happen to me on the last show. I was like, my eyeballs were turning yellow. I was like, oh, Foster, take this over. I gotta go.
Yeah, he ran out the fucking show. I saw the level filling up in his eyes. It was yellow even to the eyeballs, and he had to run.
Yeah, I thought you had jaundice or something.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Doug Van Dorn says, "You guys, the drip is another name for the clap." You know.
Exactly. Exactly.
Steve's head is blowing up, and Mo Bierman is saying, "TMI, Foster."
Too much information there, bro.
Covering Dan usually gives TMI. So
Swifty stands with you, PJ, because Swifty's like 30 years old. He's not.
Yeah.
Just wait, Swifty. Just wait.
Dan's got all these problems, and he's like 10 years younger than his PJ. I don't know what the guy's been doing.
Hey, just because
40 years.
Just because my sponsor is about drippy dicks doesn't mean that I have drippy dicks. It's just for every one of you guys in your age.
If you're telling Swifty to just wait 10 years or so, then we know you've got a problem.
Well, I heard from Dr. Dick
DJ
Richel.
and I are saying wait about another 25 or 30
Listen,
years. We're not even there yet, Swifty. So you're good.
When they approached me about sponsoring the show, they told me all about what's going to happen. So I just assumed every one of you guys going in, or Chris going into your 50s, and all you two old fuckers to my left there.
You know what assume means.
You just assumed it, right?
Well, I'm just saying, Swifty is a smooth operator, and like Cliff says, he's 61, and he can go to a whole show without having to take a rest.
You know why? You know why?
Shorty?
Because he's fucking drinking tequila.
But can you say that, Shorty?
No, because I drink water. Water makes me piss.
If Dan looks at a running faucet, it makes him piss.
Don't forget, PJ, size matters.
Yeah, that's still the same bottle that he hasn't drank since 4 shows ago.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
having the show.
It's got like little bits in it. Look,
I got a gallon.
Like little dust on it
right here, and Gatorade or something else usually, because I'm still with no air conditioning, man, and it's hot here now.
Oh man, you guys are awesome.
You see, we
Wheeler skid marks.
We don't. Sorry, mate. Yeah, I mean over here we don't really have air conditioning over here. We don't really do it over here. I don't know anybody who's got air conditioning in the house in Britain. It must be like you must. You what? Sorry.
You don't have air conditioning?
No. What? I don't know anybody who's got air conditioning.
Wait, spaghetti?
You see,
what the fuck are you talking about?
Spaghetti and fish? Spaghetti and fish? Spaghetti and fish again? No more spaghetti and fish.
You know what?
You guys
get out of here again. I'm telling you.
Chips and spaghetti?
Oh, sorry, BJ.
Well, that's still way better than Bearski's fish jello.
Oh man!
That was really funny because when I was watching his show last week and he showed that dish, it just the only thing I can think over here, which is sort of like the same as that, is jellied eels. Down in London, they eat jellied eels, which is just like that. Eels in that sort of gelatine crap. I mean, I've never eaten myself because God knows what they eat down at the bottom of the Thames. But yeah, when I saw that dish, I went, "Ooh, jellied eels, man! Oh God, no."
It's like with the air conditioning, though.
What is the temperature over there in England right now?
It's not 90 degrees with 60% humidity, and you're walking around wet all day. That's what it is in Chicago right now.
Oh my God!
What is it though? What is it?
PJ, I'd say it's about what time is it? It's 3 o'clock in the morning. It's about but yeah, it's probably about 15 degrees. It were about 22 degrees through the daytime. But we don't get because you guys are suffering like a really bad heat wave, aren't you, across the country? I keep reading.
Yeah.
We had that last year, but like over here, we'll have like a week of like 3 or 4 days nice weather, and it'll be cloudy. We'll get some rain. It's quite changeable weather over in England. But yeah, nobody I know has an air conditioner. Nobody I know. It's not like we're poor. We just don't need them.
Excuse my ignorance because I'm not really good with the Celsius. Can you tell me what that is in Fahrenheit, like an average day in the summertime?
75, 80?
No.
Stop talking fucking
it's about
and Celsius.
Here,
sorry.
Sorry.
Oh, okay.
It's about it's about it's about that's about right.
Sorry, Chris.
Yeah, that's about right.
And no one has air conditioning.
No.
Wow.
Patrick McGardle. Patrick McGardle. I went to grammar school with this guy that he says I couldn't live without air conditioning. That's one of my friends, man. I sent this link out to just a bunch of people tonight, seeing if anybody would come on. Thanks for joining us, Patrick.
Yeah, we've got some new guys in chat. Patrick
Hello,
McGardle
Patrick.
Joining us.
Yeah.
So
he's
Robert Creel, thanks for joining us.
Robert.
Yeah.
So hold on. Patrick, what was it like writing in hieroglyphics in kindergarten with Foster? I'm just curious. All right, I'm sorry, Shirley. Go ahead.
I just want to know who won the chariot race.
Pat beat me that time. It was only once, but he beat me. We're still looking for older women, but we can't find any. There are none older than us.
That just blows my mind. No air conditioning. Wow.
That's absolutely insane to me. We have Walt's been waiting in the back. He's joining the show. What's up, Walt?
What's up, Walt?
What helped if I unmuted myself?
Mr. Beski.
Oh yeah, you didn't
fuck
that
tonight,
up,
man.
Good for you.
I'm doing good, Foster. How you doing, man?
I'm hanging in here.
How you doing, mate?
Hey, how's it going?
I'm gonna let you guys take a moment to make fun of me for having to take a piss right now. So I'll remove myself while you make fun of my process.
I just did it. I did it while he was talking, man. I just screw it. Just shut up and go. hey, PJ, he answered your question. Pat answered the question. He said, Pat McCardle says, yeah, it was tough dealing with all those dinosaurs. So, see, I'm not the only one, man. I think there's like 80 of us left. 80 of us old fuck. We got a super chat, guys, real quick, and then I want to talk to Walter.
Well, he's addressing that here. Can we wait till Shorty get back to answer that one? He actually went to high school with Shorty.
It's at Shorty. We probably should.
Yeah. So we'll wait. So while we're waiting for that, let me ask Walter real quick. What are your impressions so far of training camp?
Oh, training camp's been really fun to watch. I mean, the team looks really good. I see them just dropping bombs all season. So we just have to let the passing game happen. And it looks like we have a bunch of guys here that are going to do, just that.
Cool.
What do you think about Kmet? The extension with Kmet, man? You happy? Earlier we rated it. So what would you rate it from 1 to 10 for you personally?
I'd say probably 7.5, 8 in that range.
Okay.
It's not perfect, but it's not bad either.
Right.
And you have to remember he's 24 years old, and you're getting him basically at market value.
Yep.
I'll admit I wasn't a huge Kmet fan coming into the season. I thought he had a lot of work to do, and he proved me wrong. So he deserves the money. And it's $20 million up front, $32 million guaranteed over 5. We're gonna, we have to spend the money anyways this year.
Yep.
So after that, it's all gravy.
Yeah.
Dead on, man. Dead on, Walter.
I'm with you there.
Me too.
I mean, look at the Dalton Knox deal was basically the same. It was 4 years, 52, and Evan Ingram got 3 years, 42.8, I think. And he's 28 years old. So
yeah, Yeah.
And he plays a different type of tight end role. He knew more of the move tight end Ingram is.
Yeah, I do retro. Thanks for letting me know.
Which one? Oh, here we go. Sorry, man. Walter's ahead of the game tonight, man. Walter drops bombs every 15 minutes when he farts. Evacuate the trailer. There's no trailer, but he admitted it. So you're right. You're right, White Troll. Now stop it, because he just said his next one was what did he say? Land of the Lost, the Foster cover story.
Hey, Foster.
That's some good
Foster,
one.
Foster, were you at the first Thanksgiving?
Yeah. Dude, who do you think got the turkey? Because they were going to eat like a rooster or some crap. I was like, that's too small for 180 of us.
Hey, Foster, as well. I've been meaning to ask this for ages. I'm sorry, fellas. How did you get into acting? How did you end up doing that acting? What you did before the lockdowns?
I was in construction
Can I come back?
all my life.
Am I welcome back yet?
Not if you open your mouth.
Oh God, it's Dan. Oh God, it's Dan.
I was in construction until I was 10, and then I started having a lot of physical problems. And I said, "Man, what am I going to do to make money?" And I said, "No," because I was in my early 50s, and I said, "Forget that. What are the things that I've wanted to do since I was a little kid?" And it was sing, act, and be a comedian. So that's what I did.
Right.
That's how I got into it. I got on the computer, just started searching, and I was fortunate enough where a show called Chicago Med hired me for 2 weeks on the first one, and after that, these other shows just started bringing me in and asking me to dress a certain way. I just put a bunch of old pictures on Facebook from a bunch of my shows. I wanted to show you guys. I was in this show called Fargo, and I'll try and get the shot.
Oh, yeah.
But you'll never recognize me, man. I didn't even recognize me when I saw it on film. It was insane.
What was the last show you did?
It was either Batwoman or a show called Next that used to be on Fox. I can't remember which one I did last.
Wow. What did you do in Batwoman?
Batwoman, huh?
I was.
It was Batwoman.
I was a scared white dude when the city of Chicago was being attacked. We were all hanging out in front of the Picasso, and everybody had to scatter. So I'm like literally just running in the cameras, going, "Ah!"
All right, let's get to that super chat.
Light up and run away.
I just pulled a Foster and like dumped my fucking water all over my keyboard and my computer.
Yeah, but we didn't get it on film.
In place of the egg that you did. I'm gonna be right back.
How when shit goes bad with me, PJ,
what the hell?
When shit goes bad with me, Dan goes, "Oh yeah, that was hilarious. I got it on timestamp." But if it's PJ or somebody else, he's like, "Oh, are you guys okay? Are you all right?"
I gotta clean this mess up.
He doesn't want to answer you, Steve. That's the real reason he keeps running off the show.
Man,
he's trying to avoid
that. But I thought those guys were famous. Who else is in need? We got Foster the actor on the shows already. You know what I mean? So PJ is like a head coach to his grandkids, and Walter just looks like a cool guy to me. So who else is in need?
Yeah, we don't need Dan. We don't need Dan.
Yeah.
Dan, have you seen? I mean, Walter, were you watching or reading anything today about? They've been talking about the offensive line for the last day or two. Most of it came out this morning.
I saw the two lineups they had, and I was happy to see they moved Alex Leatherwood over to guard, where I think he belongs.
Yep.
And I think he can easily slot in, maybe even next year. Say if they want to move on from Nate Davis.
Did you see they got Dieter? No, not Dieter. Deesh is the second string right tackle now. That's where they got him slotted today, anyways.
Oh, when I read the list, they had Larry Borum at right tackle on the twos.
They said left tackle, from what I heard.
Oh, maybe left tackle. Yeah.
That would make sense. For Borum, left tackle.
Borum was right tackle.
Deesh is
Borum was left tackle.
Right tackle. Wait, what?
Borum left tackle. What I heard on Windy City Grinning.
Yeah.
Okay. Then the article was wrong. Then.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said that It was Bourne at left tackle, Tyree Carter at left guard, center was Lucas Patrick, right guard was Leatherwood, and right tackle was Deesh.
That's what I got too.
Oh, because what I read was the exact opposite. Leather was at left guard, Carter was at right guard, and Larry Bourne was right tackle.
Oh wow, okay, that's interesting.
We'll have
possibly
make sure we get that right because I got it the other way too, man.
Yeah.
Cliff Victoria says Bourne was the left tackle.
All right. I'm gonna maybe it's better to have Leatherwood on the left side anyway, because did he play left tackle in college anyway at Alabama? Because and I think because he looked shocking when he played last year, but hopefully him being back on the left it might reignite him or pushing him into guard. Obviously, it might be a bit more of an easier role for him to play. So that'd be interesting, man. To see if that just kickstarts that kid's career.
Yeah, I mean it wasn't like he was a bad tackle. He was just in a bad system in the Raiders.
No, not at all.
Snaps for us, so we didn't get any information.
Yeah.
He played bad at right tackle for us last year. I'm not gonna lie. He
did.
Leatherwood looked kind of bad last year for us.
He wasn't that bad. You're talking. He gave a sack from Reddick. I mean, who didn't last year? That guy was on fire. So I'm not going to fault him as a bad player. I mean, you saw him 31 times on the line. That's nothing across the entire season.
Well, I mean, if that's all I saw.
That's all we saw of him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That is all we saw of him, and I got him as average to below average.
Yeah,
but I know coming from Las Vegas, the Raiders, that place has been a mess for the last 2 years, ever since what's his name, when they had all the crap going on. Gruden. It's been a nightmare, man. And then they bring in a dude from New England, and he just tosses everybody. Maybe it'll work out where Leatherwood gets whatever the issue is together and becomes a solid contributor to the team. That's what Poles is hoping. That's what we're hoping for. Because they can go back to youth, man. Somebody was just talking about it today. All these guys on both the lines, man. You take out the guys we sign, and our guys everybody's a first and second year guy. If you take out the free agents we just brought in and a couple other guys and draft, Poles said it from the beginning. We're going to build this team through the draft. So youth, I love the youth, man. Just keep the replenishment up. Go ahead.
Well, the issue I'm having is, I mean, Leatherwood played on the left side all throughout college, like we talked about before. Then his 1 year with the Raiders, they put him on the right side. He didn't do that well. We brought him here. Yes, he got sick with the mono.
Yeah.
And lost all that weight. But when he did play, again, he wasn't looking impressive. So I'm thinking maybe he just more of a left-handed sort of guy to play on the left side. But what's discouraging for me, because I'm a Dieter Eisland fan.
Yeah, me too.
Out of those first two teams that we heard about, there's no Dieter Eisland in there. So I'm like, where does he fit in this grand scheme?
Where Dieter Eisland, I believe this in my eyes, because the guy can play all three interior positions. We saw it last year. He's going to be the number one guy behind all three of those guys, I think. He's going to be filling. I believe he'll be the first guy to fill in for any position who needs a rest on all three of them, man. Probably more starting with the guards and then maybe transitioning to the center. But just remember, we're going to have injuries, man. It happens every season.
Yeah, but he's not in that yet, so I'm kind of concerned where he's going to be at.
Me too.
He's going to be exactly where he was last year.
Practice squad?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. To start, at least.
I don't know.
I just don't think
the practice squad.
I don't think we'll be able to keep him in our practice squad. I think
somebody's going to take him. Somebody's going to grab him.
Yeah.
Well, no. I think he's probably going to end up on the bench more than likely. You know, like you said, he's versatile, so they'll keep him up here to slot him in wherever's needed. But do I think he's the number one guy in case somebody goes down? More than likely not.
But to that point, though, Walter, it's like if he's going to be that number one guy or a guy to come be in that reserve, you would think he's on the second squad. And so far, after these first, today, he wasn't in that first two groups. He's not until the third group. So if he's going to be that guy, I think he needs to start showing it now.
Yeah, I mean, he's been around the team for how long now? It's time to shit or get off the pot.
Yeah,
let's go.
I want to throw this in. Mo Bierman said, "Did I read somewhere they're considering moving Dieter to defensive end?" Let me just say this, Mo. Last week or the week before, I started a rumor that we don't have to worry about defensive end because Dieter Eisland is so amazing that he's going to play center and defensive end. I said that on the show. I hope that's not the rumor that you heard about. I made it up.
Let's do the super chat before down the line there. Super chat for you, Shorty.
Oh, Steve saying, Shorty, if you can anyone on famous on BCP, who would it be?
Infamous or famous?
That doesn't necessarily mean a former Bears player, right?
Anybody
famous on the show? That's a good question, man. I don't even have an answer for that. Like, I think I would have to say, if it was a Bears player right now, anyone that we could get on the show,
Ed Obradovic.
I would love to have Devin Hester on the show.
There's another one.
I'd love to ask him about his Hall of Fame, why he should be in the Hall of Fame, and talk about that with him and explain all the reasons why and pound that that's even further. Not that everyone needs any of that, but Devin Hester is definitely a Hall of Famer.
The one person I would have, if I had to have anyone on there famous, Ryan Poles.
That's a good one. I should probably take him. Go ahead.
Sorry, Dan. Are we talking about, can we have anybody famous, dead or alive? Do they have to be alive? Because if it was somebody dead, and this is probably, actually, I know that he did like football, but I'd have to say Jim Morrison. Because I just love how he talks. He's a very intelligent guy. Me and him have got a lot of things in common. And he was a big football fan. He was a Los Angeles Rams fan back in the 60s. So if it was somebody dead, I'd love to meet Jim Morrison.
Excuse me a second. We are not pulling up ghosts. What's he talking about bringing up somebody dead? What is wrong with my man? Talking about bringing somebody. What? Come on, man. You out of here, dog.
And if he could ask him one question, Jim Morrison would be like, "Oh, so what do you think? What do you think about the Bears, mate?" And he'd be like, "Well, I really don't have very much to say about the Bears."
Well, the thing is, PJ, I wanted to say you know what I mean, as being the famous guest, but fuck you now.
we got Mr. Mayhem, Devin Hester. Patrick McGardle says, Doug Plank. Cliff said if he's alive, if it's alive or dead, it would be Walter Payton. I said the same thing if it was dead. Payton,
yeah, definitely Walter.
Poles.
I tell you what mine as well is Wilbur Marshall. That'd be quite an interesting person to interview. Just, all the things that happened to him at the end of his Bears career before he went to Washington. And, he became the highest paid defensive player at that time. And I always think that guy should be in the Hall of Fame. Just for that massive hit he did on that Detroit's quarterback back in the 85 season, what looked like he killed the guy. So Wilbur Marshall would be quite an interesting guy to interview.
We had another super chat that we didn't get to, so let me put that up there for you, Shorty.
Retro Foster wanted to sing, act, and be a comedian. Ugh. That's what he's doing. That's what his role on this show is.
Man,
except
now the end is near.
There you go. I was going to say you haven't sung yet.
No.
The final curtain.
I'm just saying. Now, sing like that, the end of the show is going to be near. Yeah.
That's what I meant. Exactly why I sang the end is near.
Wait, should we have you do the should we have Foster do some karaoke here? Hold on, let's see.
Twice. 3 times. The Bears fan. And I love the Bears.
I love you, Bears.
Retro.
I literally have a
And now
karaoke.
Andy's
that I made
here.
for
I
that.
still want to kill myself. Well, don't do it, Retro. It's not what it's cracked up to be, brother.
Yes. Oh man. Cliff says SNL Bears superfans would fit the show. Yes, that's
Yes.
true.
Jim Swirsky, and this is Bear Central Live. How you doing tonight, everybody? My cousin Bill's in the hospital with a heart attack, but he should be on before the show's over.
I would like to take another moment here to talk about this pretty cool thing that we have that actually I've been invited to do on Pro Sports Fanatics, the app. So I told you guys about this a couple weeks ago, where I was contacted by this company, Pro Sports Fanatics, and PSF. So you can download the app on your it's a mobile device, and what we're doing with PSF is they've contacted me and a couple other content creators for the Bears, as well as several for every other team, and they're trying to create this kind of like Manning cast thing on the app PSF. So if you download the app to your phone, you can watch you can log into the app and go to the Bears fans page, and you can watch us, me, and potentially another a former Bears player. It might be another content creator. I have yet to get into that. I'll get into that in a second, but it could be a former player that I'm paired up with, where we're going to sit there and watch the game together in our own living rooms on our phones and talk in real time on this app about the game as it's happening in real time. And anyone can join the app and they can come in to chat and get all the information from the game as it's happening in real time. It will be broadcast. All the stats and everything will be broadcast from them in real time while we're doing the show. So I don't have to do anything but sit there and hang out with someone, potentially a former player, and sit there and watch the game as a fan. And so I really encourage you guys to download this PSF app to your mobile device and check us out for the Bears fans section for the games, because we're kicking this off for the preseason games. So this coming Wednesday, I have a meeting with Sean Salisbury, who is the president of PSF, along with Mitch, who is the representative who contacted me about this whole thing. So we're going into the second stage of this, where we're actually having the meeting to go over the contract, go over exactly all the details with Sean Salisbury, who is the president of PSF. And so we're going to be like literally broadcasting the game live. So Chris, when we're at the game, there could be a moment where I'm not actually broadcasting that game because somebody else is, because there's going to be a couple of different teams that does it, because they don't want to have one pair of guys have to commit for all 16 or 17 games. So they're going to break it up into like different groups of us who can, do each game. So we're going to like pick from a schedule, and those will be the games that we broadcast. So Chris, when we're at the game against the Vikings, let's say whoever else is broadcasting on PSF, you and I can be there in the studio, or at the game, I should say, and I can pull up this PSF app and broadcast the game in real time while we're like sitting there during a commercial break. So this is going to be
cool.
This is going to be a very, very interesting and exciting venture that I'm going down here, starting next week, meeting with the whole crew for the first time. Exactly. Mo Bierman says Salisbury is hilarious in the bench warmers. Yes, I guess. But Salisbury, if you listen to him, he's been on like the Score and stuff before, I think, and he's said he always has some pretty good takedowns or breakdowns of quarterbacks and things that he's had to say about Justin Fields himself. So I'm pretty excited for this, guys. I encourage you to go check out the PSF app, download it to your phones, download the Bears fan section to it, and there's also a Bears Country Podcast chat section that I've created in there that you guys can go in there as well, and it's going to be interesting. I have yet to meet with these guys. It's going to be coming up next Wednesday at 7:00. We're going to have the final, the first actual meeting about breaking everything down. That's going to be with Sean Salisbury. I'm pretty excited, and there'll be more to come on that. I will let you guys know. As the more that I know about this, the more that I will let you guys know about this as well. And this is going to be pretty exciting for BCP because, we're allowed to broadcast our brand on there, and this could be an avenue that leads to other things that, could have, current or former journalists or Bears players that come on the show just through the webbing of people that I'm going to meet through doing this. So I'm very, very excited to announce this. So make sure you guys check that out. Download that to your phones. Check it out. Give it a look for Bears Country Podcast. That'll give you a start. Look for the Bears fan section, and you can start off watching those games with us on in the preseason. So it'll be pretty fun. Pretty excited about it. Let me remove that.
Well, I see that Cliff gave you some type of beware thing. So when you get a chance, check that out.
Where is that at? He said, Shorty, see if they get more or you get more from the deal. I was watching a video where scientists were invited into a forum and then were charged five figures for it. It was a scam. No, this is not a scam. This is backed by Mike Tyson, who is a big investor in this company. And Sean Salisbury wasn't charged last year of trying to find the current players or the former players to pair up with us, but they've kind of rebranded everything into PS. It used to be called Relevant. Now it's called PSF. And Sean Salisbury, being the president, is heading this thing up, and he's, with his contacts and everything, he's kind of the driving force to making this happen. So I will be going over the contract and everything with them this next Wednesday. So definitely, Cliff. My wife is an accountant for the film industry, so she's a professional at that shit. She'll be reading the contract before I do. Because you don't want my dumb ass reading that. You're right, Cliff.
There's this big super chat from Retro.
Retro! Whoa, $10.
This is a PSA, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, very much so. Very important.
Yeah.
Being 100%. If anyone is going through mental health issues, please seek help. I joke, thinking I'm funny, not being personal. But if anyone has any mental health issues, please seek help. You are loved.
I 100% agree and concur with Retro. Please, I agree with you, Retro. Yes. Good message. Good message.
And I'll add on real quick. Sorry, Chris. I just want to get this in there because not only with the mental health issues, but if you have any problems with alcohol or drug addiction, gambling, sex, there's places you can get help, man. There is an answer to this. Your life can be better. I guarantee you that, man. Seek out help. Search it out. If you're afraid to even do that, reach out to me. I'll help too, man. I've been there. I understand that stuff. Very important stuff. Anybody with any mental health issues, drug addiction, alcohol addiction, get help. Your life can change. Your life can be good, man. You'll be surprised. It really, the programs they have and the things that are available today can change your life into more of a normal life, if that term is correct, whatever normal means.
What were you going to say, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I really appreciate that message. Really, I've said earlier in the show that I suffer from severe depression, and just like that's why I was so glad I was doing this show tonight, because with depression it makes your world so small because you're just sort of stuck in your own little world. The strange thought patterns you have, and just feeling like crap. And you isolate yourself. And I've lost so many friends and family members due to depression because, I've sort of kept people away from myself. So I was so glad when Dan asked me to come on the show tonight, because when I first started doing the podcast on the Barroom Network, Man, that has completely changed me for the better, because I'm doing something positive. I'm meeting great people. I mean, everybody I've met have been fantastic. That's on the Bar Network and also BCP. For God's sake, Dan did the GoFundMe and things like that. When you're really depressed, there's things like when Dan when I first found out about the GoFundMe with Dan. I mean, I was nearly in tears, because when you're really depressed, you don't think that anybody really cares about you or thinks about you or that you're worth anything. And when people sort of enjoy your company and enjoy what you do on shows, it makes a massive difference to somebody like me. You know what I mean? Like tomorrow, I'll wake up and I'll just feel about 100 times better than I did do when I woke up today, just due to the fact that I spent time with you boys, and just being a part of something and all that. So yeah, Retro, well said, mate. I mean, over here, it's that's the big struggle, is getting the treatment, really, because there's so many people now struggling with what goes on in the world, and the NHS is struggling to cope with the numbers of people who need the help. And but like Foster said, it is there. You just need to find it.
That is, you saying that, Chris, is, I mean, it's a lot of the reason why I started the GoFundMe, because you and I have had plenty of, private talks, and I just knew that there was no way in hell you were ever going to be able to make it to Chicago to see a Bears game in your life. And if there's one thing that, could help you, it's going to be a life-changing experience for you.
Oh, massively, mate. Massive. I'm not scared, but I am very sort of nervous about the trip, because even just like going to an airport, I haven't done that for 30 odd years. I haven't flown since 92. Do you know what I mean? But I just know that as soon as I get to Chicago and we meet up Dan, and then I get to meet up everybody else and meet your family and all that, then I'll be fine. I'll just feel like I'm on the shows. But yeah, it's just been something what's just give me a bit of a direction. And like when I'm feeling really down, I just think of, fucking hell, man, in 2.5 months' time, I'm going to be in Chicago. So it's kept me going when I've had some bad days. But anyway, I don't want to say anymore. I don't want to take over the show. And but yeah, well said anyway, Retro.
It gives you something to look forward to, and that helps you.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I want to point out what Robert said here in the chat. I feel bad for gambling addicts. They sponsor almost everything in sports, and like I mentioned in a previous show, I have a problem with all the gambling commercials and advertisements. It's a thing that's easily get addicted and ruin a lot of homes, and I hate the fact that they do so much of advertising with that.
Yeah, right. I agree with you, PJ. Over here, they're not allowed to put them on until after 9 o'clock. Over here on British TV. But like as soon as 9 o'clock starts, it's like wall-to-wall gambling advertisements, and I completely agree with you. It's like if if you struggle with alcohol is everywhere. You go to your local shop, there's beers and spirits there. And I've got a neighbour who struggles with alcohol, and it's just, that must be so hard when it's so much in your face, and and everybody else, it's a part of culture, isn't it, really? I mean, especially over in England, we have a big pub culture, or we used to do, and like I know the guys as well, I don't know what to do, I can't really meet anybody, because, they'll go, oh, don't you want a drink? And I'd have to tell them that I'm a recovering alcoholic. But I completely agree with that, PJ, really. I think when it's in your face all the time, and you're that way sort of inclined, it's hard.
Yeah. I mean, Cliff in the chat says NFL is totally hypocritical about gambling. 100% agree. What do you think about that, Walter?
I don't really agree with that statement that much.
Really?
I mean, I get that they're pushing it, they're making money and all that, but the players themselves, they have a choice. They don't have to do it. And the NFL's not saying that they can't gamble on it. They just can't do it on team facilities. They don't care if you go home and gamble on, baseball, basketball, this, that, and the next thing. They just don't want you doing it at work.
Yeah.
So even if they do, and they're just like, oh, okay, we're going to push this. I mean, I get what you're saying, PJ. The addicts have a problem, and it's everywhere, and it's tough. But life is tough for everybody. You can't just take it away because some people have problems with it. I'm sorry. Sometimes you gotta work through it.
But haven't you noticed in the last, I say, 2 years that the advertising has started? Because it seemed like before 2 years ago, you wasn't hearing about all these gambling sites and all these things. So in the last 2 years, this thing has started with. Oh, I agree with you, Foster. But it has started the last 2 years. All these advertising, and then you see with the Detroit Lions, 6 players get suspended or cut because of gambling. Again, that's what I mean. You're feeding the monsters. What I'm getting.
Again, PJ, it's yes, they were gambling, but they were doing it against the rules. There's certain the NFL's not saying, like I said, that you can't do something. They're saying you can do it, but you can't do it in certain places. Now, to double back and go about how you're saying the last 2 years, yes, but that's every new advertisement. Over time, we're going to see different things come and go. It just happens to be sports gambling.
And if you look over the course of history, we had cigarette commercials, we had whiskey commercials, we had beer commercials. They got rid of the cigarette and the whiskey commercials, the liquor commercials. There still are. It's even hard to Bud Light commercials have kind of even fallen off the wagon. If you've noticed, where they used to be huge, and now you're seeing kind of because they just started they just made gambling legal. They're going to get around to that regulation where they're going to eventually, because it takes time to put anything into a regulation like that through Congress and shit, that you're going to eventually see that they'll remove the gambling commercials, I think.
Mm. Well, it'll die down after something's been going. So when it's something's new, it'll die down after a while. But we've always had gambling in this country. We've always had legal gambling. I know we have betting shops and all that sort of thing, but it's always been seen as a bit of a seedy thing to do, is going to a betting shop and putting bets down. And back in the day, I've only ever been in one once, and this was back in the day, walking full of cigarette smoke and blokes looking a bit desperate because you can tell they've just lost the load on the horses. So it's one thing I've never. I'm quite an addictive personality, so I don't need anything more to worry about.
Yes. What Doug Van Dorn says here. But guys, the big scandal is going to come down to when it comes out that the people who make the most out of gambling, the mob, will be caught paying off the refs because the gambling is pervasive.
Very, very, very much so.
Great point.
My question to Walter is: you said they were caught gambling on the facility. What were they doing? I'm not too familiar with it. If you can enlighten me, I would appreciate it.
Well, I don't know what sport they were gambling on off the top of my head. I'd have to look that up.
Okay.
I do know when this was, they were shedding light on this and more players were getting suspended. The NFL put out a conference call. You can look this up. And in that call, they talked about how on certain gambling sites, every time a known player gambles on there or puts a bet, it actually alerts some president or I forget what the guy's name is, but he knows.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no way to be sneaky about it. They know you're doing it, and they know where you're doing it because everything's tagged.
Yeah.
So you're saying they were inside
doing
the building?
it in the facility during a practice?
Yes.
Okay.
So let's say he was sitting at home like I am right now. He pulled out his phone, made a bet. It wasn't on the NFL. It wasn't on his team. It was, he was betting that someone's going to win a college basketball game. That's fine. They're not going to come after you and say, you can't do that. But if you change positions and he's now, say, at a team facility, sitting in the whirlpool and goes, hey, I want to place this bet here, now you're breaking your rule. That's why they got suspended. It's not the action that did it. It's taking the action at the location they were.
The IP address.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would happen if they were just using 5G the whole time?
Well, still, they're here. It does. The IP address doesn't matter at the end of the day. That helps us figure out where they are, yes, but everyone's going to know about it.
But if you were logged into if you were logged into your your facility's Wi-Fi and made the bet from the locker room, wouldn't that be different than if you were just doing 5G on your phone in the locker room? Would they be able to pinpoint that you were actually in the locker room when you made the bet?
No, I'm sure you could pinpoint it. I don't know the exact science behind it, but they have ways of finding out. Go ahead, Foster.
Sorry, Laura. I mean, I don't really care as long as they're gambling on NFL games or on their own team. I don't really care, really. What difference does it make? Like Walter says, you know what I mean? And as long as they're not betting on their own team or the NFL, I can't see what the problem is at all.
I look at it like it's any other rule that you have in your contract when you sign. I know these guys must read it. Somebody reads it for them. You know, it's like you walk into work and the guy says, "Oh, you can't go do this. You go do it anyways," and there's consequences for that.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So I would like to, moving on from that subject, I would like to know who you guys think, like who are some of the players that we need to be. Are there any sleepers in this training camp class that we need to be looking for? Is Velus Jones going to be the one that's going to pop out this year? Is Dominique Robinson going to be the guy that pops out this year? Who's the guy that you guys are looking forward to seeing take the next step other than Justin Fields?
I'll tell you after preseason game 1.
Good answer, Walter.
Who we want or who do we expect?
Well, some of the just somebody that's on your radar, PJ.
Someone that I would want, or okay,
that you think has a legitimate chance of taking, whether it's even a rookie, just taking a big step in his rookie year, or a second year player, or a third year player. Like is Kmet gonna go out and wow everybody with his new contract and blow up the league because of it? Or is it going to be, Stevenson, the cornerback, just dominating?
Good. I'll go with shocker for me, Chase Claypool. I think, given what he's done with us so far, which has been nothing, I think being healthy, being in hopefully a healthy training camp, he will come out and prove to be a great number 2 for us.
I hope so.
Well, so far he hasn't, though. I mean, 14 catches, 140 yards. So yeah, I think he would be the surprise this year.
Okay, so that's the guy you're hoping for.
Well, I'm not hoping for. I'm thinking will.
You think he's gonna bust out this year?
Yes.
So do you think he gets the contract over Mooney?
I kind of honestly think both of them will get it.
Wow.
Depends on what they want to do in the draft. Long-term wise, I mean, do you trade up for Marvin Harrison? Because you're going to have to. We're not getting the number 1 pick again.
Yeah.
Oh, he's not going to be a number 1 pick. He probably.
We might have it this year if the Panthers lose.
I don't know. I see it both ways. I'm not going to sleep on the Panthers saying they're going to be terrible, but I'm not going to think they're going to be good either. Because they weren't that bad last year.
True.
Yeah.
New coach. They have a new coaching system. They have a rookie quarterback. They traded away DJ Moore. It's possible.
They also signed Adam Thielen from the Vikings. I'm not saying he's DJ Moore, but he's not bad either.
And Miles Sanders, correct?
Yeah, they replaced Deontay Foreman with Miles Sanders. Like I said, I'm not saying the Panthers are going to go crazy, win the division, and make the Super Bowl. But, I mean, are they going to be, a top 1-2 team in terms of draft order? More than likely not.
I agree, man. They'll win 7, 8, 9 games, right?
Who you got, Foster?
I got Velus Jones. I've been talking about him for, 5, 6 weeks ago. We were talking about this a little bit.
Okay.
And I'm just going to stick with him. There's a couple other guys in my head, but after those last 3 games at the end of last year, I think we discussed this, where he was maybe forcing things a little bit, trying to do too much.
Mm-hmm.
Rookie jitters. He's an older guy. I think, did he just turn 26 already? Or 25?
I think he's 25.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, he was 25 when they drafted him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I'm expecting no sophomore jinx because he shouldn't be a sophomore. I'm expecting to be more involved offensively, especially on those jet sweeps. And then I expect him to probably get the number 4 wide receiver position. That's going to be a tough race for who's number 5, I should say. Number 5.
Mm-hmm.
There's a nice log jam of wide receivers. And it's good to say that and actually mean it for once, man.
Oh, shit.
They're all capable of teams, anyways.
Chris, you have anyone that sticks out in mind?
I'd really like Braxton Jones to have a really good year. You know what I mean? If he can solidify that left tackle position, that's a fifth rounder? Sure, he was. Then that would be that would be such a good pick for the Bears what they made. And I know he struggled with a bull rush, but you just got to think that he's had a full year now professional weight training, conditioning, and the guy sounds like he's super intelligent. He sounds like he's one of these people who picks things up really quick. So yeah, I think if he has a good year, man, that'd be such good news to the Bears, because that'll be the position where we don't have to worry about, because that's obviously a big salary position as well. If we wanted to get somebody in free agency, so yeah, I hope Braxton has a really good year, because that could mean that Justin Fields has an even better year.
It certainly could.
MVP?
Fields?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck it, why not? Why not? Why not, Dan? Why not, Dan?
Thank you.
Man, take
Fuck
that
it.
off there.
Why not?
Steve, I'm sorry, but we don't want too many people agreeing with Dan. It gets,
You see, I'm not gonna say anything because I know you can just get me off the screen as soon as possible. So
Absolutely.
I'm just gonna sit here and smile and just be polite.
See, those Brits learn pretty quick, damn it.
I'll tell
I
you.
ask you a question and put you on your toes, huh? You're like, how do I answer this?
He's shell shocked right now.
Actually, you know what? I think I have my sleeper now. D'Anthony Jones out of Houston. Undrafted free agent.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Nice.
you think he'll make the squad and do something, huh?
Yeah, I think he'll do something. He reminds me of Lawrence Taylor a bit in the way he tackles. If you watch, he almost shoulder tackles the guy instead of does a traditional wrap.
Wow. Okay.
That's
Isn't he like 6 feet tall?
6'2", 6'3".
Oh, is he 6'2"? Okay, I thought he was like 6 feet only. Okay.
Yeah, so he was around there. I think he was about 280 at the end of last year. I know he's slimmed down to about 270 and change now. So.
Wow. Okay.
But his IQ is there, and that's what really matters. You can train all the other stuff.
That's true, man. That's true.
I like that for a sleeper. That's a good one.
That's a big time
Absolutely.
sleeper there. Big time.
It's a position of need too. We need defensive ends like no tomorrow. So
My other and I can't remember who's the guy from the Rams that we got from the Rams who's never healthy.
Lewis.
was it Terrell Lewis?
Yeah, that's the other. I've been thinking this has been going through my head. I'm like, man, he's going to stay healthy this year and just freak it, just blow this thing up, man. I'm hoping that, but. And then the other one was the entire offensive line. They're going to just step
The
it
entire
up.
offensive line.
The entire offensive line is going to step up. They're going to be nothing like last year. They better not be.
What are you guys in chat thinking? What's your who's your breakout? Who's your player to watch this year? Who's the guy to watch? Whether it's Eddie Jackson or who's the guy that's just gonna step up and take it to another level this year that maybe you don't expect to?
Cliff Victoria says DeMarcus Walker.
DeMarcus Walker is a good choice too. Guy's looking good in camp. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, I know there's some people that think this defensive line is shit. And it might be with a couple of rookies, you know, we always kind of go into this as homers, if we will.
Right.
Just with high expectations, just, thinking the best.
Right.
But in the meanwhile, we do have two rookies on the defensive line. We do have Andrew Billings, which is going to be probably a sleeper in my mind. If I had to pick someone that we're not going to be, nobody's really thinking about, Billings could be that guy that helps elevate the defensive line. PJ Walker could be it too.
Now, what I've seen today on it could have been Swifty, but I seen where they were showing some like defensive line drills, and the first four up was Walker, Jones, the guy you just mentioned,
DeMarcus.
Yeah, DeMarcus as well as Billings. Those four. So I'm surprised the guy we got, the free agent from the Texans, he was a part of the four. Did I mention him? I'm sorry. It was the what's his name?
Yeah, no. You didn't mention him.
Okay, it was Walker, left defensive end, Justin Jones, the tackle, Billings, the other tackle, and the guy that we got in free agency, he played with Seattle and the Houston Texans. I forget his name, but he was in the first four as well.
Yeah, that was Swifties.
That was Swifties.
I can't think of his name. What the hell is his name?
Yeah,
Shane Green.
Oh, thank you.
Green, yes.
Thank you.
He was part of the first four, and then the second four was it was
Thank
Gibson, Dominic, the rookie last year. Those was two ends, and surprisingly, the two rookie tackles were not part of that. I forgot what two tackles it were, but it was not either Dexter nor Zach. They was on the third string with Lewis and I forgot who the other end was. So I don't know who the two
Robinson or where? Because they had Robinson playing a lot of reps too, man.
Yeah, Robinson was on the second team.
Guys, Walter has to bounce. Let's let him get his parting words out here.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry guys, I got to take off. You guys enjoy the rest of your night, and training camp is here. It is time for football. Next week we're gonna have the Hall of Fame game.
Yes.
So
All right, cool.
By the way, let's take on this. Mongo and Virginia McCaskey are semifinalists.
Yes. Did Mongo get moved to a finalist, or is he still a semifinalist? That they had some article out today.
I didn't see that today. I don't know. You're calling me out. Let's see. Either way,
it was on Bleacher Report. It could be days old for all I know.
I don't even. That's going to take me a second to find that, but it would be. Either way, I mean, he's definitely fitting of the Hall of Fame. Virginia, do you think Virginia is?
Sure,
I do.
Why not?
Why not? Why not? Yeah.
I mean, on precedence, I would say she is, but it's not like she's
precedence of what?
On having basically been around. She was born like 2 years after the team was founded. You should know that. You watched her being born, probably.
He's
caught the baby.
He said it was one of the wet nurses at that time.
But I mean,
catching the baby.
She hasn't really. I mean, it's not like she has this legacy of building this great franchise. That she has a legacy of building the one of the greatest facilities in all of NFL, teams in Lake Forest, a House Hall. But she doesn't have all the wins and accolades that go along with someone that you would expect the owner of a team to be in the Hall of Fame for. But that being said, because of her tenure of owning the team and being the longest tenured owner of any team, and having been around from almost day one, I think it kind of does warrant her being in the Hall of Fame. Whether or not she does it while she's still, if she makes it while she's still here, is another question. Because she's going on 101, guys. January 5th, she'll be 101. And I wanted to do a show about, just a show about this. Like, we got to win one for her, man. Like, she's, for crying out loud, guys. She's hanging on for a fucking Super Bowl. She's going on 101. It better be this year, guys.
Well, we're gonna give her two. We'll give her one this year and next year, and then if she rides off to the sunset, that's fine.
There you go, Walt. There you go, man. Okay, quick question. So who's the only Bears person that's not a player that's in the Hall of Fame. There's only one out of 30 guys, I think.
George Ellis?
Jim Finks is into the Hall of Fame. The
All
only
right.
one that's not a player. So Virginia could be next.
That would be fitting if it was.
So you guys would have never got that, right?
No, I wouldn't have.
We're not that old,
No.
Foster.
Shut up, Walter. Brilliant.
Walter, man, thank you for joining us tonight. We're going to be talking this weekend. Walter,
Yeah, definitely.
we got some good stuff coming up with Walter on the show. So appreciate you, man. We don't want to keep you too much longer. I know
Thanks for having me.
we had Bearski last week. Had to leave the bedroom and go out to the garage and still got in trouble. So we don't want to do that to you.
Man.
We'll talk to you, Walter. Have
Nice
a good night.
meeting you, Walter.
See you later,
Thanks
Chris.
for
See you later now,
coming
Walter.
on, Walter, man. I love your calm, cool collectiveness in all this madness.
I love how we're getting around to him too. He's
Yeah.
he's starting to get he just burned you, so he's coming around.
That's what is expected, man. That's why I said
Hopefully, yes.
he pulled a PJ and got it right in there like that, man. Think about it. Stepping right up.
Yeah, great to
All right,
meet you,
Thanks
Walter.
for coming on,
Great to
Walter.
meet
All
you,
right, guys.
Walter.
Yeah. Well,
Good night,
PJ,
man.
I'll
Stay
take
safe.
easy,
Have a
man.
great
I got to go
weekend,
ask
buddy.
that 36-part question.
Yeah, get out here before you get that. Yeah. Hold it. I got one more question for you. Oh no.
Oh, that was good, man. That was good, dude.
Oh man, guys, I
right.
do have to wrap this up soon myself because I'm getting murdered at work and I have to start early. So
Gotcha.
Well,
should
you want
wrap
to
this
address
up.
what Robert says in your chat,
let's see.
saying something about Arlington Heights.
Oh, where is that?
It was Patrick McArdle.
I'm sorry,
Oh.
Patrick. Yeah.
You got it. I'm going to click it. Don't do anything. There we go. Do you guys only discuss the team on the field? I'd love to hear an update on their potential move to Arlington Heights. Well,
We need your mum.
we need my mom was actually on in the background.
Mhm.
She never came back on though.
Oh, man, I could have said hello to your mum.
Patrick, I will say this though. She came on a little bit early, and I was like, "No, come back." And she said 10 o'clock. That would be. Well, that's 10 o'clock. She should be on here right now.
Yeah.
She has all the updates. Mammy's on that shit. But one of the interesting things, Patrick, they had talked about was other cities that had put their names in the ring, and Waukegan was one of them. Waukegan has lakefront property that they could build a stadium on, and we'd still have kind of the same ambiance. And really, Waukegan, as a crow flies, is not that much farther north than where the Bears play right now. So that's going to piss off a lot of people. But if they did do that, I think that'd be a good move as far as keeping the team on the lakefront and still having that ambiance and still having the lakefront weather and all that stuff. Woodstock is another one that was put in the ring. Woodstock is where you're going to be, Chris, when you come to visit. So you're going to be like, wait, they wanted to put a fucking stadium here?
Not if you're smart, Chris. I'm just telling you.
Oh no, it was Rockford.
Hey, Foster.
Sorry.
Foster, I just have to say that I'm a little bit scared about, because Dan's basically, I'm staying for the first week with Dan and his lovely family, and we're staying at his auntie's house, what's like in the middle of nowhere, and I think really Dan's a part of a cult, and I think that I'm going to turn up there and they'll all be there wearing white robes and try to drag me into his cult.
So you were there already, right?
Yeah, you'll never see me again. You'll never see me again after October. That'll be it. No more Chris Watts. I'll just be, I follow Dan. I follow Dan.
Well, he told you you're not going back. That's why he was saying that. He's keeping.
And,
we're gonna
how about you, a green card?
Your sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have. I want to answer Pat real quick. We've been. This is probably the first time that we haven't talked about it. Maybe in the last 10 weeks, there's maybe 2 or 3 times we haven't brought it up. If you remember the last time, guys, we decided not to talk about it. We had a 5-minute conversation about it, and we all said in the end, yeah, they're just going to end up playing the game and moving to Arlington Heights. So
Yeah.
that's where we kind of left at. Was it last week or the week before? I don't know, but that's what we were talking about. We'll get Mammy on and get you an update, Patrick. Try and do
Mammy
that soon.
should be on here any second, but it's getting a little bit late for me because I do have to go to
I
bed.
know you
Because
got to run. Do the last.
man, I tell you what, there's 3 of us that do what I do. One person tomorrow is his last day. He's retiring.
Oh,
so now there's only 2 of us that do what I do. So now I'm like literally getting up early to work and working late. So it's Retro. Keep up those super chats so I can quit my job.
Man.
We only need 6,300 more subscribers, and we're there, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Retro paid $2 to say MFer. Virginia is a total bear. How the fuck?
She is. She's
Thank you,
seen
man.
all the she's seen every or she's been alive for every championship except for the first one.
Yeah. Crazy, right?
Just not enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Doug Van Dorn, that fucking sucks, Dan. It does, dude. I make circuit board.
Don't bring your work in here.
This is what I make for a living. I make circuit boards for a fuck. I'm so, come on, guys. Tell your friends. Get them to like and subscribe, set the notifications so I can stop making circuit boards for your fucking airplanes.
And just in case you guys didn't know, he just want to carry it around in his back pocket for you guys can see.
Samples.
Look at this fucking circuit board I made, you guys. This went on a fighter jet. Crazy motherfucker.
Wow. Where's the plane, man? Bring me the plane. I don't want the circuit board. I need scrap parts.
Here's another circuit board. Look, you ever seen one of these circuit boards that bends? Fuck these things, I tell you that much.
Dan, just going to ask you, like, what do you do? Do you actually design and make a prototype and then it goes to the factory and they mass produce it? Is that how it works?
Other way around. I work for the company that mass produces them, and then I help them. I do it for them. I work directly with them.
Right.
It's a clusterfuck.
Chris, don't be asking him those kind of questions anymore, dude.
No, don't be. You know what, Chris? Fuck out of here with your.
Hey, Dan, I got 6 more questions for you.
I'm trying to get around.
That's like the 4th fucking time today, man. That fucking hell, man. Come on, give me a break, brother. I thought me and you were pals, Dan. You know what I mean? I'm coming over to America. You know what I mean? You got to take care of me, sir, please.
and Chris, you thought it was me. See, it's not me.
It's only
awesome.
PJ 33% of the time.
That is true. That is true, though.
Yeah. I have learned my lesson with PJ. I know which, I know that certain ways, that's it, you're off. Fuck it. Chris Watts, fuck it. It's only 4:15 in the morning. Fuck that English guy.
If only you were more committed, Chris.
Hey, I know. How much more? What more can I give you? You know what I mean?
You don't have to be more committed, man. Just stay as committed as you are, because if you are more committed, you'll probably get committed.
I've been committed about 3 or 4 times.
I like what Doug says here. Well, at least the end users for your circuit boards are a little more exotic than the circuit boards for the lock in a pay toilet. True. This fucking board right here. This is like one of the most difficult boards. Yeah, that's right. I'm gonna put it up here right like this. Look at that. Look at this thing. It's got a copper core in the center of it. Look at that. Look at that copper. You don't even know. You have no idea. You have no idea what it takes to make one of those.
What's it for? Hey, Dan, is it for a toaster?
What's that?
Hey, Dan, is it for a toaster?
This one is for the toaster.
Damn, my microwave's acting up.
That one's for the toaster.
I've got one question before we get out of here, though.
Oh, fuck. You mean 28 questions?
One question. What's on the menu tonight?
Oh.
That's a long answer.
Mark, thanks for joining us tonight, Mark. We will see you again next week, hopefully.
Yes.
Thanks, Marco. Hope you're feeling better from that stuff around the 4th, buddy.
Yeah, hope you feel better, Mark.
Yeah, man, that cough. You got to get rid of that cough, dude. That's not good.
Poor Notorious has been in his attic all night chasing rats. This is like the 3rd comment. I'm back from the crawl space, man. I can't take these rats. Anybody know a good exterminator? Earlier he was asking, he's like, dude, is there any houses cheap for sale in the suburbs? I got to get the hell out of Chicago between the insanity and the rats.
Man.
Don't worry, Notorious. There is hope.
Oh, I like what Doug here. Doug's saying, good thing you can't see the components that are supposed to go on those circuit boards, Dan, or the ITAR cops will be tapping you on the shoulder soon. No shit.
Yep.
You are correct about that. The ITAR cops. You couldn't have said it. You couldn't have said it even. Nobody knows what you're talking about but me. But that's why you're the man, Doug.
I've got family and friends in that field. I know you can be a big shit for doing that.
We do have Cliff's
rotisserie, weekly rotisserie.
Yes.
This is Cliff's delicious meal.
Thank you, Cliff. Appreciate you, brother.
Rotisserie chuck roast today. It was like a mini brisket.
Yes.
And then, yes. Yes, motherfucker, yes.
PJ's in a trance.
Now
let's Homer
see
Simpson.
I appreciate a good chef.
Let's see what it looks like sliced up.
Hey, did you guys notice everybody's names or no?
Scrody, PJ King Homer. Oh, fuck, you didn't. Chris Witz.
I've got no wits left, mate. Jeez.
45 minutes, man.
Look at Cliff with his sliced chuck roast with this. Damn, that looks good.
What is a chuck roast? What is it? What is a chuck roast?
A guy named Chuck.
I don't know what one is.
He's a
roasting.
It's a middle grade beef roast, man. That you like if you made pie
right,
or something like that.
All right, fair enough.
But he done rotisserie it like a chicken, and I know it's good because I've done that myself.
Retro is signing off. Good night,
Yes.
Retro. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for your super chats, man. You are what makes BCP go around.
See you, mate.
Man.
Thanks for the support, and I really appreciate the public service message that you paid $10 for, dude.
Absolutely, dude. It was very.
I've been
very
meaning to talk about that a little bit every show, and I keep forgetting.
Yeah,
because it's just such important stuff. Everybody's affected. Almost everybody you know is affected in one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
They have somebody like that in their life, and it's just things that you don't think about. You know, you don't know the guy walking down the street next to you. You don't know why he looks so sad or whatever. You don't know unless you ask.
Yeah, you have a good night, Retro, and I appreciate the.
It's all behind the eyes.
I appreciate the message.
All behind the eyes.
Well, guys, I think that is the end to another great show. So I can fucking get up extra early and make circuit boards for all you circuit board loving motherfuckers.
One of the shortest shows we ever had, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because I were on.
Fucking Chris.
Usually we're on till Chris.
Is it because I'm on?
In the morning in England.
Man.
Is it because I'm on? You're all fed up for me already.
So after the 4th hour, you see Chris Watts. It's 7:20 a.m., mate.
Hey,
and the thing is,
Chris, I want you to know, man, I appreciate you coming on tonight, man. Thank you, Chris, for coming on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, it's honestly, this has been the highlight of my last 2 weeks is doing this show, and it's just going to be a bit weird because, like I always say, on a Friday morning, I get my cup of tea, my crumpet, and you're the first thing I put on, and it's always a great way to start the Friday. So I'm so honored to be a part of it, and such top guys, and like It's just going to be great when the season starts, and then we've got some proper football to talk about. But no, I appreciate that, PJ, man, coming from yourself. And it's been an absolute blast for the last how long we've been doing it. But I kept thinking, well, we're a bit short out. It must be me. Letting my side down.
No, not at all. Not at all, man. I appreciate you coming on.
It's just been cheers, mate. It's just been a laugh.
Oh yeah.
Is that exactly what my doctor ordered anyway?
That's what we're here for, man.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, and Foster, man, me and you are going to have a good time in Chicago, man.
Absolutely.
At the Raiders game or at the barroom do if you get into that, man. I can't wait to meet you in person, man. We'll have such a giggle. We'll have such a laugh because I think me and you are quite similar. So I think we'll have a good old laugh and freak some people out.
Absolutely, man. I'm older, so you're the British version.
Yeah.
You're the British Foster, man.
By the time you leave, Chris,
I had hair once too.
You're gonna be Foster's brother-in-law.
There you go.
By the time you leave.
Oh man.
Foster will have like a video of it. It'll just be like these women's hands dragging me back through a doorway into a darkened room, and I'll be like, "Oh, Foster, what's going on?"
In the background, you hear, Dan is my master. Dan is my master.
Yeah.
It'll be like day 3. Like, how do I extend my visa?
How do I actually get to California? Let's get out of here.
You just get in my car and we go.
Yeah, let's give a shout out to
good.
To the chat.
Yes. Let's please give a shout out to the chat. We got Doug Van Dorn, Cliff Victoria. You guys, love you guys. Brian, thanks for hanging out with us tonight.
Yes.
We'll have you on next week to next week we're going to have Lester Wiltfong Jr. on again. We're going to have him on. But we want to bring you guys on that have been on the show to ask him a question or two. Right. Just to, he's the editor-in-chief of the Windy City Gridiron. So that's going to be, he'll have lots of good shit to talk about the Bears. That'll be a straight show. Notorious TBG, man. We love you. Thanks for joining us tonight, TBG, man. It's awesome to see you guys. Linda Foster, thanks for joining us.
I drank your lemonade, Lynn.
Retro, always. Nothing but love, Retro. Mark Kazak, thanks for joining us.
Mr. Mayhem.
Mr. Mayhem.
Mo Beerman. Robert Friedel. Patrick McGardle.
Yes.
STC.
Hair Bear stopped in. Swifty. Yes, STC.
Swifty.
Retro Music. Retro
Steve S. Man. Steve S. $15 in super chat tonight. Thank you, Steve S.
Yes.
Steve S. Yeah, Steve S. I want to do that.
I get to get a raise. All right. Thank you, Steve S.
Yeah.
Brian Gilmore.
You can eat PJ.
What else we have in here tonight?
Did we mention STC?
STC.
Yeah.
I'm going back to the beginning. Let's see.
Yeah, I just was doing that. Notorious Bears Country Podcast was in here tonight. Thank you, Bears.
Bears Country Podcast. Thanks for joining us tonight. Mr. Shorty, thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Yes.
I've already heard bad things about them. I've already heard bad things about that show.
Squeegee was in tonight. He'll be on next week to talk to Lester Wiltfong Jr. Let's see. I think that's about it. We love you guys. You guys are what makes it. Ravi came in. He hopped in the show for a bit.
Ravi.
Much appreciate you coming in.
That was a little difficult for him. He's big time difference there.
Wow.
I've been talking to Robbie for 2 or 3 years, man.
Where is he at? Is he ahead of us or behind us?
I forgot. I just was talking the other night about it too, and I forgot because I just that's my mind. It's screwed up.
You got hit in the head too many times, huh?
Yeah. For sure.
I don't know why that's cracked me up. I really don't know why it's cracked me up. Oh man, that's cracked me up, Dan. I don't fucking hell.
Well, Chris, stick around after the show. I want to talk to you for a minute.
Cool.
Guys,
No worries, mate.
thank you all so much for joining us tonight. You are the reason why BCP goes around. Without you, we would not exist. So thank you all. Thank you especially to all of you who donated to BCP and Super Chat.
Yes.
So we can keep the lights on here. And now I'm going to have to give a portion of that to Chris. So thank you, guys.
Wait, real quick. One more question, Mr. Shorty. Why do I got to pay $50 every month and you pay these guys?
It's a conspiracy.
He's on
That's
me.
what I thought.
He's on to me, Chris.
It's a conspiracy against you, mate.
Now that Chris is on, he just told me it's going to be $75 a month. I can't figure this shit out. But I'm writing the checks.
Well, you guys,
Good
know I
night,
love you
everybody.
guys.
The money.
We'll see you guys next week, Thursday, 9 p.m. again. Until then, 1, 2, 3. Bears.
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 Bears.